Yeah, is Rick there, please?
Yes, it is.
There have been many times you and I have gone round and round, and we've bled the same blood in the same muds. But this time it's all about business, Jack.
Let's do it.
You and I, Friday night, Daddy, at the Fulton County Stadium. The Great American Bash. Dusty rides on the edge of a lightning bolt with a silver saddle, Daddy. Now you come on down there with your limousine and your horsemen. Bring your A-game. Yeah, is Rick there, please?
This is.
It's time for you to meet your maker in the American dream. Dusty Rhodes is up for the challenge.
I think the American dream's barking up the wrong tree.
We'll see if your blood is as red as mine, Mr. Flares.
We will find out indeed, sir.
That's right, Friday night in Flint. You a yellow dog. You hung your phone up on me.
May I take a message?
Yes. Tell him this is Big Dust, the American dream.
Big Duft, the American dream?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a friend of his?
More of a nemesis, I guess you could say.
Are you Bob Klepak's friend?
I do not know who this Klepak fella is. All I know is that the other night, when Rick hit me from behind, I saw where the line was drawn, and now... Friday night at Starcade! Myself! Hey! Where did you go, baby dog? Damn bicycle! He's got a bicycle!
Hey, what is up, everybody? Rajay back in the house. How you like that to get it started tonight on a Thursday? Welcome in, and tonight I'm going to be bringing in a few different people. Unfortunately, our usual people that are part of the show, Mal and Todd, are actually not here tonight. It's all right. It's all right. We'll get through. I got some great other people coming in. Oh, that's right. So stay tuned. I'm going to bring one of them up right now. It's going to actually co-pilot the ship with me here. Let's see what else happens during the course of the night. But yeah, we'll see what goes on. If you haven't checked out the poll of the night, over on the chat is, have you had a non-alcoholic beer recently? I'm kind of curious how many of you are out there drinking some of the non-alcoholic beers, and we'll talk about some of that stuff coming up. That being said, let's go ahead and welcome in Shane for Shane's Craft Beer Review, who is actually here with us tonight. Big round of applause, people. Big round of applause. There we go. That's right. So welcome in, Shane. Great to have you, my friend. Happy Thursday night to you.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here as always.
Definitely. Tell people about your channel, Shane.
Sure. Well, if anybody who doesn't know, I'm Shane. I run Shane's Craft Beer Review. I'm a Canadian boy, so I do a lot of Canadian beers, but I do a lot of beers from the States and Europe, and wherever I can get a new beer that I've never tried before. I do a lot of fun stuff. I do some kind of every couple months I'll do like an epic. Well, I think it's epic. No, not everybody does. I think they're pretty epic videos. Actually, I've got one coming out tomorrow night. Maybe we'll talk about that later on as well. But yeah, check out my channel, please. I would appreciate it. Yeah. So great having Shane on, and great community. Shane had the name of the awards again are? The Chuggy Awards.
Chuggy Awards that he did a couple months ago. So that was awesome, a great thing there. So lots of fun with the beer review community. Shout out to PA Brew News in the house. Paul's out there. Friday night, Big Daddy. Big Dusty Rose fan from back in the day as well. Baby Doll. You got a chair, Baby Doll. And he says, cheers to Shane. And Paul, if you're around, let me know as well. Just throw a thumbs up there if you are. Gilbert's in the house. Cheers. We got the Canadian contingent coming in. So awesome. Gilbert's right up there in Ontario as well. So not too far from probably, well, I say not too far, but Canada is spaced out. But he's Ontario. Ontario is a weird cut of land anyway, just the way it's kind of all shaped and everything, right? Like you think you're in it, then you're not, then you think you're out of it and you're not. It's just kind of a weird cut they have. So.
Well, like I said to people before, I mean, if you're driving in Europe, within like a few hours, you can visit like 4 or 5 different countries. In Ontario, you start driving, and 19 hours later, you're still in Ontario. It's because it's that big. It's that big, right?
Well, good. Yeah. So you and Gilbert both Ontario there, and PA says if you're with the around 11:25, so. You never know on this show. I don't know if we'll go that late tonight just because it's just going to be few, but you never know. If Shane's hanging out, I'm hanging out, we're having a good time. People are asking questions. They're keeping us all involved. you just never know where we're going to end up. And you know how it is around here. Anybody can fall in through the door. You know, I try to close it, but it doesn't always work that way. So
seem to find their way in.
Yeah. And just a reminder, if you're new to the channel, what we do around here.
Champagne or girly drinks, we drink beer and beer and beer, beer, beer. No champagne or girly drinks, we drink beer and beer and beer, beer, beer.
Pretty much. I wish I had Mal loved that song when I put it out there now. So,
it was awesome.
It
was great.
Yeah. I got all kinds of stuff happening here. The thing with, as you know, running Steering Yard is trying to figure out where everything is in a certain fraction of a second, right? Because then you're like, you want to be shuffling through. So it's like trying to remember. You don't have like a physical board where you just hit a button like a lot of the big wigs do. You know, we're still working off the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right.
Maybe if YouTube sends me some more money, I can actually get one of those.
I gotta say though, I love the intro on today's video. That was awesome.
Have you not seen that one before? The wrestling one?
You know, I'm always late. This is the first time I've actually been on time for your thing, because I know you needed me, so I was making sure I was on time this week. It actually reminded me, there's another one that's similar to that, except for it's with John Cena, and it's basically this guy. The guy keeps calling this one woman and bugging her about, and then the John Cena music plays, and he's like, "Oh yeah, John Cena, the champion, he's coming to Detroit Motor City this week," and it's pretty funny, and that's exactly what that reminds me of. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I do have a John Cena clip. Maybe we'll show that later too.
Okay, super. Yeah,
so
why not?
So Kid Chris was actually, he used to be I think in Florida, but then when I was living in Cincinnati, he came up to Cincinnati where he became one of the shock jocks up there. And that was part of one of the skits he does. He has that one. I have another one from him as well for Dusty Rhodes. I had a third one, and at some point I deleted it, and now you can't find it anywhere. I think he had to take down, because I can't even find these out there on his channel. I think you got to take them down like a cease and desist maybe, but I was able to download the copies that I had of it, so I'll put it up here from time to time. And it was one where they were calling from heaven, where Dusty Rhodes was calling from heaven after he had died. And so he was there, and Ultimate Warrior was there, and he was imitating all these wrestlers, and they were in the PMW, the Post-Mortem Wrestling League up in heaven. So
nice. That's awesome.
It's pretty classic, yeah. So he's a pretty funny guy. So I think he's still out in Cincinnati doing some stuff, and I wish he would make more, but I think in somewhere along the line he had to stop. Like I don't know, like I said, it might have been cease and desist, because they were so dead on the imitations they were doing for a lot of the wrestlers. So, but yeah. And see here. And before we get into some of the beers, that's, you know, that's, like I said, that's what we do here as well. See who else is all in. He is locked in post Pop-Tart land, because he's at the Pop-Tart factory. So yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. You're doing God's work there at the factory.
Yeah. But it's funny thing he told, like, I don't even eat Pop-Tarts, but he like manages in the Pop-Tart. So
yeah,
he's not a Pop-Tart fan, but yeah.
One time you get that Pop-Tart, you're like, "Oh, thank you, dude."
Yeah. Cheers to JT in the house as well. Be 3 hours so until I can drink a beer, right?
James, yeah. James Orton.
He said, "Now that's hard times." Yeah, that is hard times. You got to wait to actually drink a beer and stuff. So, yeah, but you will get there. You will get there, my friend. So
for sure.
And if you haven't checked out Paul and his channel, PA Beer News, great channel. Check him out. He actually just released some Gothic beer review stuff too and everything. So obviously, Paul, unless I'm wrong, October, great month of year because he's a big horror fan. So for a lot of horror fans, October is like that best month of the year where it's got all the horror stuff and you dress up and you do all this kind of crazy things. Are you a big horror buff? Do you like a lot of horror movies? What are, any horror favorites?
I don't mind them. They're not usually something I'll go seek out like on a regular basis, but I don't mind watching. Like I was saying earlier before we started the show today, I recorded my Halloween episode today at one of the most haunted places in this area. So that was it was a little crap. I went during the day because I'm a big baby, but it was an interesting place to go to. That's for sure.
Okay. We used to have a haunted bar where I used to be at in Kentucky in the Cincinnati area. I never ended up going to it, but they would say like weird things would happen in there, and they'd have tours and stuff like that and everything. I felt like it was really haunted because you really sit there and your mind work the whole day. Right. I feel like you get freaked out at some point, like, okay, this is my last day, I'm out. It's kind of like see some poltergeist stuff happening. Okay, I quit. I'm done. Send me my check. Mail it to me because I'm not going to wait around.
Exactly.
I'll be outside the front step, wait for my Uber. I'm out of here. So.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like I said, I tell people
about some of that.
I tell people all the time, like I honestly do not believe in ghosts, but I don't want to do something that's going to make me have to start believing in them. So I'm very careful with some of the stuff. That's for sure.
It's like I don't believe in Bloody Mary, but I'm not going to say it 12 times or 13 times in
That's
the
right.
mirror either.
I'm not going to do it. It's a whole bunch of hooey, but I'm not going to do it just in case.
I'm not going to do it.
Just in case. That little sliver of a chance, you know. You never know what's going to happen.
What beer do I want to start with? We'll start with this little baby right here as I put this one back on the pedestal. Like all beer should be on a pedestal, right? So this is one I had, I think, last week. I don't think I talked about it too much, but it is the Imperial Amber. So this is from Great Lakes. It's their 35th anniversary beer. So it is their Elliott Ness that is actually done in, I want to say it was bullet barrels, I think they may have used. 12.1% ABV. So
woo, got a banger.
Lager in bourbon barrels. And looking on the side here, it doesn't say on there, but I thought I read somewhere that I think it was bullet bourbon they actually used for it. So yeah. So Great Lakes, Cleveland, Ohio. There is one in Canada. They are not related, even though it's right across the lake from where Cleveland is.
Yeah,
weird coincidence. Sure. But yeah, they have their own identity, just like the one in Cleveland does. But definitely recommend anybody ever in the Cleveland area. Great Lakes has to be on your spots to actually look to check out for sure.
And if you're ever in Toronto, check out Great Lakes there because that is an excellent brewery as well.
Yeah.
And as you're pouring there, it's actually really funny that you picked an amber today because so did I. That's what I picked out today. This is the away from the norm from the Moore Brewing Company out of Illinois somewhere. Villa Park, 6% alcohol by volume.
So is that one you picked up when you came down to Chicago?
Yes, I still have one or two of these left. I've been trying to get them reviewed, but there's like between that and all the beer mail I've been getting lately, I've been having a really hard time just trying to catch up on all the beers that I have in my fridge.
Good luck on that.
Oh, I never do.
That's a race I never win. I never win that race. So yeah. Cheers to you, Rusty, as well, my friend.
Rusty, cheers. And in case anybody's questioning this, yes, I always hard pour my beers.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, just deal with it. There's a reason for it. And hey, why don't you go back and watch the last 50 episodes on my channel and you can find out why. Actually, it might even be farther back than that.
I was going to say, there's nothing wrong with... See, this is the problem with StreamYard. I can't find my damn sound effect now. I was saying there's nothing wrong with having a big head. But I couldn't find a shot. So it kind of died out as I was trying to find the right button.
You almost need to get a separate soundboard and have it sitting beside with all the sound effects already set. And you can just... Actually, I think my son has a... I can't even remember what the hell it's called. It's like a mini...
like the mini soundboard thing. You hit the button and it just does it.
Yeah. I wonder if that would work. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I see like Nick Dimmonen and some of the other like big YouTubers. They have like the Rode something. It's like a board where it has it. You can just hit a button and stuff. But you can only program it for a certain number of times. That's one thing with StreamYard. You can put different ones in there. I think you can go up to like 50 or 100 type of things you can put on the side. But then it's just trying to find what you have stuff. So.
Right.
The easy thing would be for me to go in and go because you can edit the names of it and code it a little bit better than it actually is. I just haven't gotten around to doing that. So when you run a YouTube channel, there's always something else you could be doing, right? You know this. So yeah.
Yeah, JT's got it going on down there. When you get down the list, JT's right. How are you, James, by the way? Long time no see, my friend. It's been July, I guess 3 months. I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hard times is when you hard pour and have to wait. Well, you go overseas.
It's not that I have to wait.
Although I haven't
want to wait.
When I haven't been overseas, but I read a lot about beer because beer knowledge is important as drinking the beer too. You go to some of the places in Europe, they're going to harp for it. You're going to wait, and it basically is a patience type thing. And you're in one of the pubs where, believe this or not, some of them still don't have TVs, and it's more about the communication and socializing. And as your beer's settling, you're having good conversation, and then you enjoy the beer when the beer is ready. Don't drink a beer before it's time. So
exactly. Like I said, I've kind of adopted. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was saying, but here in the States, like I went out last weekend, and it's just like I got a beer from one person at the bar, and you could just tell it was like somebody didn't really know how to pour beer as much. Like the heads over there. And I ended up having to send it back because I guess, I don't know if it happened when it was in the glass or I wasn't paying attention, but it was a sour. And I turned around and there was like a little like fly or something got into it. So I had to send it back. And the next person poured one. They did no problem or anything like that. They went and poured another one and it was a head on it. So I'm like, I don't think these were poured by the same people. Like one knew how to pour and one didn't.
Right. And that happens sometimes.
Talk to your team member. Yeah, talk to your team member. Maybe give them some pointers.
Yeah. Hey, it might have been their first day, and they're not used to pouring beer. Like that's their first bar job, kind of thing, right?
Well, one of the things is I always talk about is it's bad on management for not training the right staff to do stuff too. A lot of them don't train them to actually prepare them to actually do that. A lot of them don't understand how to do certain things or don't give them the knowledge about it. And at this point, I almost feel like every bar or brewery or whatever, where you're serving beer, like there's no reason to have your people that are serving not be certified beer servers.
Correct.
Go ahead and pay for them to get that designation. They get trained on it properly and they know how to do it and they'll be able to handle and be knowledgeable because it's like you go to a place and you ask about a beer, you want to talk about a beer, you ask a beer tender like, oh, geez, I don't know. I mean, this is just what we got here. I have no idea. I don't drink beer or I don't know these beer or, the guy just dropped them off from the distributor. Like not having that knowledge there is like one of the worst. Just like
that's no excuse. Like even if you're not a beer drinker, if your job is to pour beer or have anything to do with beer, you should know about all the beers, whether you drink it or not. That's part of your job is to have that knowledge, right? Right. That would be like somebody come into my work and said, "Hey, what's the best?" I work in a casino, in case anybody doesn't know. If somebody came in and said, "Hey, what's a really good game to play?" and I'm, I don't know, they're all the same. Like, like that's such a shitty customer service freaking thing.
Yeah, it is. It's just like, it's not hard. Like if you can learn yourself. But I'm saying if I ran an establishment, I would want all my people to actually know as well. Sure. I would take it upon myself to have them put out the best experience for the customers. Because guess what? Customers don't have a good experience. The customers don't come back. Enough customers don't come back. You don't stay open. So I want to make sure we have the best opportunity to stay open as long as we can. And all these people that run these businesses, I would think the same way. So
you would think so. Yeah. Because
So
that's what you want. You want that good product and friendly, knowledgeable staff that gives that good customer experience to people so that they do come back, right? Because you can have like the best steak in the world. Yeah. But if the waiter comes up and goes, "Hey, here's your fucking steak, enjoy it. Oh, by the way, there's some ketchup there in case you want to put it on the side," or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah. And by this point, everybody should know because we've all seen the show.
Shut it down. 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 Shut it down now.
Nobody wants us going John Taffer up in the place. I'm just saying.
I actually forgot a new season of that started last week. Was it last week? Oh, no. Or Kitchen Nightmares. Sorry.
Oh, Kitchen. Well, that's the other thing for the cold.
Yeah, same.
Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
But I never get tired of John Taffer and Bar Rescue. No. It's just, you watch it and you think, well, no, this can't be like this bad or this bad. But then when you actually go to places and you start noticing those things, you're like, there really are people out here that don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing and stuff. And then over the years, talking to different bar owners, and it's just like, it's like, why would you have this here and that there, and your people are wasting time going back and forth rather than having something built? And it's just like you start becoming like a mini Taffer out there looking at stuff, and it's just like that makes no sense. Why are you doing that? You got to be killing your people's needs. They can't be working there for long. Then you got to go hire new people and bring in other. It's just like So good knowledge watching that show. You can really pick up some things. So if those of you don't watch it and wonder if it's all fake or not, I'm going to tell you now. There's places that are just that bad that they point out on there.
Right. I'm trying to think. There was a quote, and I can't remember who the hell it was. I want to for some reason I'm thinking it's Richard Branson, the guy from Virgin. Mm-hmm. And I think his big philosophy was, take care of your employees, and they will take care of the customers for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which makes total sense. Take care of your staff. And if you take care of your staff, they're going to do their job and they're going to do it great as long as you're taking care of them. Right.
Yeah. And then some of the great managers will tell you, I mean, they know the difference and the importance of not just leading from the front, but also leading from the back too. So, you know, you got to be able to do that and not try to micro everything. So it's a, you know, you walk that walk if you're in that type of man type thing. But I think especially in the beer industry, beverage industry, or food service, like or even like the gambling industry, it's such a social industry where you're out and you're dealing with the public. You have to be able to hit these different things to actually succeed. So,
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. You want your customers to remember not only the food or the drink or whatever, you know, your services. You want them to remember the people that work there. Yeah. And say, man, you know, I had a great time because of, you know, Rod J was a great server, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, especially when they take the time to write out a little comment card or something like that, because not everybody does that. They don't have time. But if, you know, you have an exceptional experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to leave a negative comment card, right?
Oh, it's very easy.
My steak was cooked wrong. You guys suck. But
Yeah.
when you get that one that's just like, hey, you know what? You guys got it going on. You got great servers, blah, 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 blah. That's just gold for a business for sure.
And one thing about business is negativity moves faster than positivity. So you have more than if it's a negative, they'll tell everybody about it. Positive, they might tell a company about, but those negative ones really multiply where the other ones more additive. So you end up getting a wave of just bad stuff coming your way. You know, just think about some of the things you see online nowadays when some of these establishments do some terrible stuff and they just light them up on the different ratings on different things. And it's just like, they got to shut down their site. They got to do this, do that, because they're getting nailed on so many different things. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
just, you know, you got to take all this into consideration. But yeah, to JT's point, hard pouring opens up a lot of flavor. Opens up the flavor, opens up the aroma, releases the gases, cut down the beer farts. But see, here's the thing, like, so it's funny. I do find some contradictions watching on Bar Rescue. Like, there's a video that John put out where he's talking about, you know, you do the hard pour, you pour right down, and he did the little paper towel where it doesn't cover it. But at the same point, especially when they don't pour down. The thing is, you can pour 45 and then you like go to about halfway almost, and then you go straight down. That will still release the gas. That's how a lot of the other ones are pouring it, rather than going straight down the whole time.
Going full pour. Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so, but it's like the ones that are making these bad ones are going like 8/9 of the glass. And then they trip it up to try to give you a little bit of something. That's like way too past where they're supposed to do it and everything too. Yeah. So it's just kind of funny there.
Yeah, well, like I said, everybody's got a different way of doing it. And none of it's wrong. Like, I never give anybody a hard time for, you know, tilting their glass. I get a hard time about hard pouring all the time. Well, not all the time, but quite often.
Yeah.
But it's just my thing. That's what I like to do.
And if you were like I said, if you were in Europe, they would love to pour. Because that's how they would actually pour it there too. And it's, you know, I've read like Randy Mosher's book, Tasting Beer. You know, he's one to 45 and halfway down, but I know other people that are like straight hard pour. It's not, the big thing is you want to make sure you have that head so you get some of that release out. Plus you want that aroma to be on there too. One of the stories I was going to talk about here in a bit was talking about using certain glassware to actually open up that people may not be experienced and to think about actually using for their beer stuff too. So we'll talk about that here in a second.
Sure.
JT said, true, Eric. My local never pour beer. My local never pour beer with head, or they pour the head off. I don't know how that place makes money. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're filling it up just with, you know, pure liquid, no head.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only this much beer, but over time, that's a lot of freaking beer over the course of a night, right?
Yeah, and I've seen people argue with some of the bartenders too, because it's like, I don't want any head. Like, and they, you know, they're like, dudes, like you're wasting the experience of it. But you know, each their own, I guess.
Well, that's one of the good things about glassware. I don't have one handy, like a Stella or even my Carlsberg Pilsner glass. They have that mark on the side of the glass.
Mm-hmm,
so no matter what, there's where you should be, right?
Shout out to Bride. Cheers, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Welcome. So we got UK, but it's Ireland, right? Like I always get Brian confused, but he's overseas. He's one of our great friends of the channel, so appreciate you dropping that in, my friend. And hopefully all is going well for you this early Friday morning, because you're 5 hours. I think you're 5 ahead of us now, or are you 6? Or because they actually, or maybe it's 4. They move their clocks 2 weeks before we do, I think. Oh, we don't move to November, right? So there's still 5 hours.
Yes, yeah. I know it's in the next couple of weeks we move. I don't remember when the hell it is.
Well, we don't move to actually after Halloween this year, so they won't move to like mid-October.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But so it's 5 hours that he's ahead of us right now. So he's into his Friday.
Nice.
Which is always awesome. But yeah, definitely appreciate you there, my friend. And hopefully you've had a great week, and hopefully you'll be wrapping down a week to get behind you, get into the weekend. And I got to check out to see who's playing this weekend for the Premier League too. You watch Premier League at all? Do you get into the soccer, as we call it in North America, but football for everybody else in the world?
I do not. Soccer is one of those sports that I can watch the highlights of sports because I appreciate the skill that these guys have, and I'm like, oh my god, did you see that? But to sit and watch an actual game, yeah, I don't really have much interest.
Yeah,
I'm a hockey guy. I need guys skating up and down the ice and punching each other in the face and hitting them over the head with the stick, and not violent at all. Yeah.
Well, see, that's the funny thing, because hockey is as much scoring as it is soccer in games, right? Like, if you have a hockey game, you'll win like a 3-1, 4-3. You might have a blowout is like 6-2 or something, right? So you can have those type of same scoring effects.
Oh, sure.
As you do. But it's different. Like, you do have the fighting involved. You do have more of that. You have the smaller arena versus run all up and down the field. But
right.
Yeah, but it's just funny, like, because you're still doing that. You still have the offside penalties in both sports. Had to figure those out both times, how that works. Hockey's offsides, and you got the soccer offsides, not the same, but similar. So
right,
so you still have that in there. But I used to watch hockey back in the day. You know what got me into hockey back in the day? It was back like 90, maybe like 89, 90, was playing NHL hockey on video games.
Oh, sure. Like NHL 96 and on the Sega or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like on Sega. So I would play like with the Red Wings or the Devils or the LA Kings, whatever it may be. And it was just like I learned the hockey players by playing this damn game. I became like a Red Wings fan, knowing Fedorov and Eisenman from playing the damn game. Right here, that I was seeing on TV, and I would watch and I would root for them or whatever. So then so that's what got me into it. The video game got me into the actual sport. So that was kind of a funny transformation how that went. Because usually people will like a game and they'll buy that video game to emulate it. Not went the other way for me.
See, my youngest boy was pretty similar. He started playing. What's the last one? NHL. I think it was 2021. I think it's the last one I bought, and we'd play it, and he would always pick Dallas. I'm like, why are you picking Dallas? He's like, I don't know. And now he's got Dallas shirts and stuff, only because he learned it on the game. Same thing.
You learned it on the game, yeah. Brian said one, Eric. Eating Brian. No head sounds like my first marriage.
I read as soon as he posted that, I saw it and I started laughing. I'm like, I can't wait until this comes up. Like, wow, love that one.
Oh.
That was great.
England. Okay, so it is England. I was thinking back and forth, but it is England. Okay. No head. There's a great joke, but this is YouTube. Well, you got Paul in the chat, so
Paul's there.
Somebody's going to do something off of it.
Yeah, Paul's got us covered.
I ended up using a Butterford joke instead. Pittsburgh Penguins, yeah. Because Paul, you're closer to the Flyers than you are the Penguins, but you're a Penguins fan. Okay. Because Paul's on the Eastern. He's the eastern part of the PA where Paul's at versus the western side. So
okay.
But we don't go by where we live. I mean, when I was growing up in New Jersey, I was a Lakers fan. And all my friends were like, "Oh, you're not a Sixers fan?" Like, because I like the Lakers. I'm Showtime. I like the Lakers. That's who I go with. I go with Magic. I go with Kareem. I go with Bob McEnroe, all the players they had out there and stuff. So, but yeah. I'm not one of those people that says you have to go with that team because you live there type thing. Although coming to Baltimore, I have become an Orioles fan watching them. But that also goes back to my childhood because as a kid growing up in New Jersey, it was just right down I-95, and I was used to Eddie Murray and Jim Palmer and all these other players. I used to be with them watching them on TV. So and they were kind of like almost a cool type of team because no one else had like an orange type color like they had, so it kind of stuck out more. So when you're a kid, it's all the bright colors that get your attention.
Of course. And hey, what a great year to be an Orioles fan.
Yeah. I was thinking about going to a
Fantastic
playoff
year.
weekend. We played the Rangers for the first round, so that's Saturday and Sunday. Rangers beat the Rays, which I was happy about because I felt like the Rays were that team that could beat the Orioles. Because against them, that's like been their nemesis, and against the Rangers, I feel a lot more comfortable. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you never know.
They're going to do well. I think they'll do well.
The problem we have now is that we don't have Batista. He's out with Tommy John. He's going to be doing Tommy John surgery, so he's not in the playoffs this year. He's out all 2024. They're saying so.
Oh, geez.
That's like a beast of a reliever. 106. You see that throw that ball, you're like, geez.
For sure. For sure.
If I'm a player, I'm not walking that off if I get pelted. Yeah.
Exactly.
Maple Leafs, son. Yeah, Gilbert's Maple Leafs up there in Toronto.
Oh, I'd like to say there's nothing wrong with that, but I can't.
Me too with hockey. EA Sports. So here's the thing, because my other passion is with gaming and some, I got the gaming channel and stuff. EA benefited from being in a capitalist society, but then they also penalized us being in a capitalist society. So back in the day, we had a bunch of sporting games, especially football is the biggest one. So you had Madden when EA brought out the Madden, but you also were able to have like John Elway's Quarterback Club. You were able to have these other Friday Night Blitz, all these other type of football games where you're using like different players from the league. And then EA was able to land just a full NFL contract, which killed us. So then it became just them. And then they got lazy because it's just us in town. And so every year they bring out a new Madden and you're like, this isn't that much more than this. You had like one or two things. And next year you had one, like you could have done all this years ago, right? And it's just the cash thing because they control it now. You had it, and then you had it happen with baseball until finally you were able to get the 2K series back up running against them in that. But like hockey, they were able to let it slack a little bit. Yeah, they gotten better on the NHL hockey, I would say, over the last few years, but that was slacking for a bit. So yeah, EA was able to benefit from that. I remember when EA actually had a pretty cool college baseball game back in like early 2000s, and that was a fun. It was like MVP baseball. And it was like you played college, so you had the aluminum bats, so you had a little ting in the game, which made it pretty interesting and fun. And then they got rid of that pretty much a few years ago. Got rid of like the basketball and the football ones. So hopefully they bring that back because now they're bringing back college sports next week, or next year rather, not next week, next year, because now they got the kids can get paid while they're in school. So
right, and that's cool. That's cool for them, right?
Yeah.
And what a thrill! Like you haven't quite made it yet, and you're like, oh, look at this! I'm in a video game. Like how awesome is that?
Yeah, long overdue. But it's funny. They were interviewing Dion, obviously because Dion head coach Colorado now, and his son Shador is like one of the highest one. They're estimating his worth like $3 to $4 million right now. And they're just like talking to him. They're like, could you imagine if you would have had this when you were down in Florida State? How much you've been worth? He's like, I have no idea. He's like, I couldn't even tell you. It would just be some high number, I'm sure. Like Dion would have been like probably close to a 10 million player back then, because he brought in so much to the league. So,
right. Am I locked up on your screen?
Yeah, you're a little frozen there. Yeah.
Oh, what the hell? What is up with that? It's not even a good look right now. It's like hey, can you spare $1? You spare $1, mister? That's exactly what that looks like. It's my bum look, apparently. I don't know.
That's funny. Oh, yeah, it's just like frozen there. I don't know why it's still frozen, because you're coming through fine on the vocal.
Yeah, that's really weird. I'm just kind of checking my.
Is it a camera?
My cam here. Oh, I think I just lost it completely here. Hang on, let me go back here and just double check.
I'll get the comments while you do that. Paul,
all right, you might lose me for a quick second, but I'll be back.
All right. Family can eat it. Family's from Pitt. Oh, okay. I didn't know the family came from the Pitt side. All right. That makes sense then. Trying to write the state representative to give Philly officially New Jersey. What makes you think we would want Philly? I mean, what makes you think that would be okay for any means? I got your camera back now.
Hey, there we go. Now we're good. I don't know why it did that. That was kind of weird. Very strange. Oh, all right, let's get set back up here.
Gilbert says his no head joke involves you and swimming in circumcision. So LOL. I would get banned. Would you know? Would you? I mean, you've seen the stuff Shannon said on here before, and we still haven't gotten banned. So a couple times I've woken up the next morning and it's like, what's that thing they tell you when your video's been held for, not for violating anything, but it's kind of got like the little yellow thing. I'm just like, I got to send a thing to them. Like, no, it's the same thing I do every week.
Right.
You get a manual review and they go through, okay, you're clear or whatever like that. So and I would tease talks. I'm like, you know what? Shannon was on last night. And again, I got this little warning the next morning. I'm just saying, whenever she shows up, it seems
got to stop having her on the show.
Yeah. But she's so good for the ratings.
I know. She's great. She's great. She really is.
Dion don't tackle. Yeah, I mean, one thing about Dion, he didn't tackle as much, but you know what? He didn't have to because quarterbacks weren't going to throw his way anyway. So he was able to pretty much stay safe, unless they call like a sweep to his side of the field, which I'm sure he was like, oh shit, here they come.
Yep.
It's like the storm rolling through the area. Oh, you got a storm going through right now?
Not where I am, anyway.
There. So are you guys supposed to get any of this, whatever hurricane thing we're on this weekend? It's coming up through Maine and up into Canada they're talking about possibly? Have you heard anything?
East Coast, I think, which is usually where, that's usually where they end up.
Yeah. I feel like it's coming up. Well, this is like cutting up between Maine and like Connecticut some. Like coming up between, I think, like Ontario, like where Nova Scotia is. So it's kind of hitting in the middle, coming up the landmass, but it might be all rain by then. I didn't know if they said anything. Yeah. I don't know if they said anything on your guys' stuff for alerts and everything.
I haven't seen anything, but I haven't really looked either.
Yeah.
Which would really be bad because the weather up here has been pretty good the past few days.
Yeah.
Really nice for first week of October, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're getting our taste of some fall weather right now. It's supposed to heat up a little bit again next week. And then right now we're getting a little bit of that, which is nice. I like this kind of weather. Get out there, take a walk around town.
Sure.
Nice, kind of like a nice breeze feel without having to breeze because it's just nice and cool, which makes it nice.
Right.
Cheers, Dave in the house. Cheers, my friend. Dave from Beer in Front. Haven't
Cheers.
checked out Dave. Check him out. And Dave, it's on your Twitter as well. So Dave may be joining us here in a bit also.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I got some questions from him because he just has his latest podcast episode up where he actually interviewed another one of the podcasters we know who was at Great American Beer Fest. So,
okay, perfect.
They're sharing out on his channel and stuff too. So, yeah, Dave. Hopefully you can jump in and you're clear. Ruby lets you get on for a little bit. But yeah, so how's your beer going down? What do you think of your beer?
Good. You know what? It's a little just a touch thin.
Yeah. What's the ABV on that? I don't know if you mentioned that or not.
6. It's a 6%.
Okay.
I think it was 6%. Yeah, 6%.
Okay.
But it's nice. I like it. A touch thin, but nice and easy to drink.
Yeah.
Everything you want in an amber ale.
Okay.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. Yeah. This one, when it's smooth, again, for the ABV that we're at, what was it? 12.1. 12.1. Yeah. Session ale, as we call it around here. Definitely get the bourbon feel coming through. You get a little bit of that oakiness in there on the back end, but nice malt feel. Goes down real easy. That's the one you can kick back and enjoy. I'm not one that has to have it'd be cool weather to enjoy big beers. I drink big beers all year round. Are you one that does?
No, I drink whatever, whenever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like, I know Chase there, Nutmeg 2 Palmetto. He always says every season is stout season. Yeah. He'll drink a stout in the dead heat of summer, no problem.
Yeah.
And I if I feel like having a stout, that's what I'm having. I don't care what the weather's like.
Yeah. It's it's all about doing that. Now, if it's 100-something degrees and I'm outside a golf tournament, I'm not going to drink like a 12 stout or something like that then. But at nighttime, I crack something open or enjoy, or I'll have a barley wine or something along those lines. I'll have something big.
Yeah, for sure.
It just says, hey to Dave, and get lightning and thunder in a moment. So so we get some lightning and stuff happening. So he must be in a different part than when you're at that.
Well, Eric's in Toronto, right?
I don't know if Eric's in Toronto or just outside of it.
Because I'm literally I'm across the lake from Toronto. And I don't know. Well, I can't see outside the window, obviously, right now. But I don't think there's anything outside. I don't know. I haven't been outside since earlier today, so I have no idea what's going on out there.
Yeah. What's going on? It's like behind the wall of Wedding Crashers, Will Ferrell. I don't know what she's doing back there. You know, with the meatloaf.
That's right. That's right.
What is she doing back there? I don't know. Classic movie. You can always work in a line from Wedding Crashers at any point in time.
Of course you can.
So.
Of course you can.
Yeah. JT's bringing a Dovetail Vienna, which is very nice. That is one that Dave had actually gotten me before. I think it was the Vienna Dave had sent me from Beer and Friends. So Dovetail, good stuff.
Dovetail Brewing. There we go.
Yeah, nice little lager brewery and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
they had some good beers there. I enjoyed the couple I had there.
Yeah, session season is any season. Yeah,
the
sessions we drink around here are usually bigger than
12.5% session ales.
People overseas are like, session ales like 3%. Not in America. Not in America.
I love America.
We go big over here. So
yeah. For sure. Absolutely.
Taking a look here at the poll. All right, so 36% have done non-alcoholic beer in the last year. 64 have not. So for those of you that have done non-alcoholic beer, if you want to answer in the chat, be great. And those that haven't done it, you can answer as well. Like, what did you not like about it, or what did you like about it? And if you didn't try it, why would you not try it? Is it just something not of interest to you because it's non-alcoholic, or is it just you have flashbacks from O'Doul's or something from back in the day? You're like, I'm not going to go back and try one of these things. The last time I did it, they fooled me. And as George W. said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me. If you fool me once, you can't fool me again.
Christ, that was one of the funniest things I think I ever saw on TV was that.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna say something really smart and then he's like totally forgot what the line was. That was one of the best things. I love the politics down there. It's awesome. Some great stuff going on.
One of my favorite ever lines from George W. right there. That was one of his best. That one and the one he's doing a debate and the guy says he had wood. He's like, I got some wood. When the boss was like, he's talking about the wood that because he just delivered it just like the funny guy you expect him to deliver it as.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
See a little bit of that frat boy come out of him when he delivered that line there. Yeah. I see where you're going, W. I see it. Interesting. Shane, you didn't have any issues, right? You got in pretty easy.
Yeah, I had no problems. Outside of that little camera freeze I had there, but I'll blame that on my phone. So
if you want me to send it to I can send it over to the Instagram or the Facebook, Dave. Let me know if you think it might be it. I don't know. Elon might be throwing some fit on X or something that's got shit screwed up because only Elon would do something like that, right?
Of course.
Yeah. A lot of rain and a golden horseshoe, according to AccuWeather radar. It's always AccuWeather. Gilbert says he's actually in.
Oh, you're in Oshawa.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I know where that is.
So how far is that for is that like a good distance from where you're at then? Or
I wouldn't want to walk there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a drive, but not too far.
You can be more defined than that. I'm in Baltimore. There's some spots I wouldn't want to walk to either. But on the map, they look okay. Yeah.
Eric, I don't know if you know, you probably do. I know you know where St. Catharines is. I'm literally just on the edge of St. Catharines in a little town called Thorold. So, which is just outside of Niagara Falls. So I just tell everybody I live in Niagara Falls because it's so much easier because you say, hey, I'm from Thorold. And they're like, where?
You ever get the Niagara Falls like back in the day from old Abbott and Costello skit? You ever see that one?
I know.
No, Three Stooges. It's Three Stooges, not Abbott and Costello. And he was telling a story, and he's like, and this guy, and he's like, and every time he would say Niagara Falls. Oops. You all right, Dave?
Hey, there's Dave.
When Dave cut for the airball there, a hairball.
What's going on, gents?
What's going on? Let's see here. Your mic's coming in a little staticky there. Let me see. I'm going to put this here.
Yeah, that's what I was having problems with was the mic. It kept saying, you're not logged on. I'm like, my mic's hooked up. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It just sounds like a little muffled when you're talking.
Okay, I just boosted the levels here.
Now you got like a little bass in there, like on the.
Yeah, it's really, really bassy. Like almost
very white
overdriven a
side.
little bit.
Is that all right now?
It's got a little staticky.
I'm just going to switch to my AirPods. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
There we go. That works.
We'll let him get all set up to what he needs to do.
We're in no rush. We're not going. Oh, is this
Not
mean we
going
got to wait around? God, I'm going to grab another beer then if I got to wait.
Yeah, well,
I'll be right back.
well. Let me see here. And
There we go.
back in my college year, session beer meant session premium lager, little grenade bottles, cheap for a 12-pack. Was that like the little the hand grenades? Well, the hand grenades were like Mickey or something, I think, right? Mickey's hand grenades back in the day.
You're talking like a bottle like this?
Yeah. No, I mean it was like a hand grenade is what I'm talking about. But for that one,
okay.
no, but for that's kind of like probably what he's like a session premium lager, maybe something like these the small ones like that.
Right. Oh, actually, I probably should grab one of those instead. Hang on, I'll be right back again.
Summer session for me is doing a couple 6-packs of Duval. That's a good session. That's some serious beer. How you sound now, Dave? All right, how you sound now, Dave? Oh, no, you're muted. No, you're not anything. Now you're muted. Oh, your mic was muted. Now you're on mute. Nope, now you're not coming through.
Am I at all?
Now you are. Now you're better. Yeah, now you're good.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so
I got like a bunch of. I've got like the Bears game up on here and everything else, so it's kind of. I think maybe it's overloading my computer. Time to get a new Mac.
You're the Bears game. You're in for some pain tonight.
They're up 10-0.
I said I never took you for a masochist. Yeah.
I was going to say we should start a GoFundMe page for Dave for a new mic. Everybody donates $2. We'll have him something really nice by next week.
Yeah, I just think I was overloading everything because I had the Bear game up on the second screen, so I was doing like 3 things at once.
Yeah, that's probably what it was for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I usually tease Todd because they're usually on the Apple thing, and they're always like having issues like, it's got to be the Apple thing. It's got to be the Apple thing. So what's the word for you, my friend? Great to have you on, Dave Beer in Front.
Thanks for the welcome.
Yeah, tell the people here about your channel there and little stuff you're doing. And
yeah, it's weird and something I wanted to talk to you about. Like maybe we don't have to do it here. We could do it, via text or something. Like, got the weekly podcast out. Comes out usually Mondays-ish. Either Monday night, Tuesday morning. Trying to put more stuff up on YouTube. Like you, Rod, I know you got a lot of YouTube stuff going on, and I'm thinking that's like where most of the stuff is nowadays. Like, I could have an audio podcast, talk to people. I've got a nice audience, but I'll put up a 59-second clip over on YouTube Shorts, and I get 10 times the amount of people. So I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do coming up.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely in the planning stage, and that's one thing I didn't talk about it yet tonight. And I'll talk about the little stuff that I did at VidCon this past weekend because a lot of great stuff there. You're going to see a lot of different things happen on the channel just from the different stuff. I mean, the last few nights, even I was there Saturday and Sunday, and I still have at night, I gotta get up and write something down. I get up and write, it's just the ideas are swimming so fresh off it. And I've never in my life ever journaled. Now I keep a journal where I write stuff in it every day when ideas pop in the head and just I'll come back and do stuff. So earlier today, I did the one of the things I've learned there, I would say, is the experience with TikTok. I wasn't doing a lot with TikTok. So a lot of the people there were talking about the TikTok stuff and talking to them you got to get on TikTok. You got to do this. You got to do that, blah, blah, blah. So today I dropped a little video out there with the Mitch McConnell. I think you saw it earlier, Dave, and stuff. And just came up with something a little quirky idea. Because right now, down here, Shane, I know you get Bell's up there, right?
You get what?
Bell's
Sorry,
Brewing. You get Bell's Brewing up there from Michigan.
No, we have a Bell's City up here, which is a totally different brewery.
Well, down here,
occasionally I can find a Bell's, but it's pretty rare I can get a Bell's beer up here.
And then Dave has a Bell's right there. Is that the new variant there as
Yeah,
well. For
I just picked
Oberon.
it up today,
Nice.
so I was going to crack this open, in a little bit on the show.
Good. Yeah, I got to pick up that. But so right now in the States, Bell's has their double two-hearted out, which is pretty popular double. So people are trying to find, so people posting and stuff, but I know that it's always so hard to find. So I had a video that I put up on TikTok today where it was like the whole, and I don't do it to make fun of them or like that and everything, but it was like, how can I get humor out of this event that took place? So it was when Mitch McConnell was stuck. He started talking and he got stuck. And I just put on there basically like seeing look when you're looking for the Bell's W2 Hearted and you're seeing people post it online type thing, right? And you're just like reading something, you stop. And it's just like you're stuck. It is like all these hits started coming in from like TikTok, from Shorts, from Instagram. And it's just like finding these different things that you can actually do to have fun, to drive people in and bring that kind of stuff to people's channel. Now, and even Bell's actually responded on my Instagram one. And they were like, give me a spot to check out. And it's like, if you don't find it, let us know, reach out to us and we'll get you taken care of type thing, which was pretty cool on their part. But it's just like, that's something I wasn't thinking about before I went to VidCon this past weekend. And so for people that are creators, whether it's VidCon or right now people are in Dallas for Vid Summit, there's different ones that are taking place. If you're a creator, you need to go to one of these conferences. You want to go to ones that have some notoriety behind it. VidCon was pretty big. It was always on the West Coast. It's the first time they brought it to the East Coast. Vid Summit's a pretty big one. But if you find some stuff that you can get to, I definitely recommend doing that. And that's going to definitely help to do some stuff you want to do for your channel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think they have anything like that up here. If they do, I certainly don't know about it. But yeah, I should definitely maybe start doing some internet research and see if I can find something like that for sure.
Yeah. Those are like those. I mean, I think for us to go, for me, it was like 110 for the whole event for Saturday and Sunday. And it was definitely worth it just to get the knowledge that was given and the conversations I had with some of the key people and then being interviewed on a couple other things. And it worked out great. I mean, I couldn't be any more happy about it. So I'm looking forward to going to some more of those and stuff. And just to, pick the brain of sort of people you were talking to. I mean, when I say the brain, like these people I were talking to, one of them I connected with, that she gave me some great ideas. We're going back and forth. So now 300,000 followers, like on TikTok. People that were talking to us, like over 1 million here. Like one of the guys was the dude that Ellen found, and he was like millions of people. And it's just like you're having these conversations casually, and they're putting out different stuff on what they're doing and things that can work. And it's just like you're just soaking this all up and everything. So it was a great experience.
And really, for $110 for that kind of information that's nothing. That's so cheap for that kind of information. It really is.
That's a couple beers for you, Rajay.
Yeah. Not with the discount.
Those 12.5%.
That's a 12 pack if I get the discount. Let me see here. But let me get the comments real quick, and then I'm going to ask you something here, Dave, as well. Now I'm older. I don't have time for shenanigans. Any drink I get has to be over 6. So Germans and Belgians is for me. Hey, you got to know your market, right? So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
I am too on vintage, man. Yeah. I'm not in that club yet, but at some point I'll be there. Definitely know where Thorold is. Have family there. Have a pork farm near the area.
A pork farm. It must be my ex-wife's house.
Yeah. Yeah, rest in peace to Buckus for sure. Although Gilbert's at Bearsville Cinco, he's a Packers fan, so go Pack Go. But who would think the Lions would be leading that conference right now? I'm just saying. I don't know who had that on their bingo card, but I was watching the footage earlier. Like one of the announcers on ESPN, valid point he made. He's just like, for a lot of younger people that watch, they don't know the players of some of these decades back and everything like that. And he brought a point. He's like, you look at the footage of like Buckus, who was out here playing, then they were interviewing Chris Berman about it. It's like the stuff that he was doing then, he put in the league now, he would get fined. He couldn't even play in the league.
He'd be arrested,
that he'd be arrested for some stuff he was doing. And at that point when he played, it's not like it is now, that was like 80% of run-heavy league, right? So you were always getting action in the middle linebacker. You didn't get a playoff like you do some of these passing-type teams you go against. So it's kind of like, and I've always said, like, as far as middle linebackers go, as far as my favorites that have played that position, Buckets was up there, Niski was up there, Singletary was up there, and Lambert were up there, right? As far as the linebackers.
Yeah.
And of course, Ray on the back end was
Ray,
up there,
yeah.
but Ray was also benefit of a different league at the time, but he was still a beast out there, don't get me wrong. But those other guys, they were in leagues that were dominated by run. And they had to close everything down. And they literally were that defensive quarterback when you're in those eras and stuff. Where now you look at something like a Ray, or you look at Bobby Wagner, or some of these other guys that came later on. They're kind of like that, but you also got the safeties that are calling things. You got different stuff being called on the line, so it's not fully on them as much as it used to be. Yeah. But I guess they just scored because Paul said up by 16 now.
Yeah, that's why I left for a second. I'm like, oh, I got to go put the TV on. And I'm like, yeah, it's 16-0 right now. Of course, I bet on Washington, right? So. Son of a.
It was funny. Some people will be like seeing the news and they'll be like, oh, Webster's dad died. That's what they're going to remember Dick Buckets as Webster's dad.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't know he was a football player.
No, that was Alec Karras.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was
Karras.
Karras. Okay. I was wrong with that. Okay. But he was a mean player too, though, Alex Karras.
Yeah.
But yeah. Good call. Still early, Paul. Give them time. Well, you expect
right.
the Bears as well, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna Lions bandwagon for sure. I love a long-time loser. The turnaround, yeah. Well, you must really love Cleveland as well, then, too, JT. I'll say Cleveland and Detroit in the Super Bowl. That's when we know the end times are here.
Yeah, right. For sure.
Ray Niski copycat, but it's cool. Well, I mean, copycat. I don't know. They're both beasts. Niski, yeah, that guy though. He would like try to chew you up. Yeah, back then when they had no face mask, they would like bite you and stuff too with Niski. Hardy come to Hardy fall. And JT's a Maple Leafs fan as well.
Ooh.
So yeah, we were talking about hockey and stuff earlier.
So the one time I'm not wearing my Calgary Flames hat on a friggin' stream.
Well, would it clash with the Hawaiian shirt? So
speaking of Flames,
no, actually,
look at that. There you
go.
go.
You got an original shirt. Oh my God, look at that.
Yeah,
that's back when they were.
I just picked this up like about 2 weeks ago. I always wanted one since I was a kid.
Nice.
The Atlanta Flames. I love the logo, and then they had a deal. One of these sports books. You sign up and you get a free $150 gift card to Fanatics. So I looked, and they had this old one, and it was. I mean, I would never pay $150 for it, but it was like, hey, it's free money. I'm going to get what I always wanted.
Sure, why not, right?
Yeah,
and I really like that Calgary still kept that A
for the alternate captain. Yeah, that's great.
I thought that was really super cool that they did that.
Yeah,
because that's a great logo. All right, let's get into another new beer.
So, what beer are you cracking open now?
Homebrew.
Oh, a homebrew. Okay.
Oh yeah, every once in a while. Every once in a while.
Did you brew it or somebody sent it to you?
Oh no, I brew it. I brewed this.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, this is it's kind of a cross between a session IPA and a golden ale. So I don't really know what category it would fall in. It's like 4.3%. I think this one. Usually I try and get a little bit higher, but I was trying something a little bit different this time. And I don't like this one as much. Like I brew this probably 2 or 3 times a year. And every time I try and change it just ever so slightly, because it's almost perfect, but it's not quite there. And whatever I did with this one, I know what I did with this one. I kind of went backwards a little bit. It's not bad, but it's not great. But it's worth a drink, that's for sure. Pretty clear.
Yeah. Well, that could be one of your competitions for next year if people get together. You could have everybody bring anybody that home brews can bring a brew, and you can have a drink off there, and then give an award for the best home.
That's not bad either.
Yeah,
actually, one of our local breweries actually had that just recently, because they get all of their hops from one specific hop yard. So they were having a little competition. So when the hops were ready, they emailed everybody and said, "Hey, pick you have to pre-pick your hops." They only have 3 varieties, so I think it was Centennial, Cascade, and there was another one. I can't remember what the hell it was. So once you picked up your hops, you had 5 weeks to make your home brew and then bring it to the brewery and you'd get judged. And whoever wins this, that they're going to brew that beer on a large scale and put it out into the LCBO. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. But of course, when they emailed me and said, "Hey, your hops are ready," it was like my first day of my camping trip way up north. And I'm like, so I just emailed them back. I'm like, "Hey," I said, "just give the hops to somebody else." I said, "I literally just got up north." And I said, "I'm not going to be back for like another 9 days. So I'm not going to have time to, brew a good beer." I said, "So just give them to somebody else and I'll hopefully get it next year." But I thought that was a really cool thing for the brewery to do.
No, that is cool. Sam Adams with Boston Beer used to actually do that a few years back. They would have like homebrew competition and they got like the best 3. We end up being put in a 12-pack that you can get.
Oh, that's cool.
You would get like 4 of each, which is really cool. They don't do it anymore, but you found some pretty good flavors years ago that people had actually done. And then whoever was the number 1, they would actually later on end up getting pushed out to get like as part of the Sam Adams family and stuff. So it was pretty cool.
It's a cool idea because you never know, like a small local guy might make an incredible beer that, oh my God, as a bigger brewer, I don't want to say, it's just like, hey, we need to make this,
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the only stipulation that this brewery had was you had to use the hops that you got from this brew yard. Other than that, anything goes. You can make any style, use any grain, any malt, like anything you wanted. It was just the hops that they wanted to keep consistent throughout. So still pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I brewed my first batch Monday. First batch I brewed in like 5 or 6 years.
Nice.
As you were talking about it on the podcast and everything, so that's underway, which is pretty cool. So I almost got caught up on yours because I'm not caught up because you just did a new one. So I wanted to ask you about that one before, as a teaser type thing, and they can share with people here. Maybe people check it out, tune into the Beer in Front podcast. You had DT on, who's at the Great American Beer Fest. So any tidbits, any teasers you want to drop out there that people can pick up?
No, he was just saying, how cool it is. He lives in the area, so, he doesn't have to fight Ubers to get home and, spend like $300 plus a night on a hotel room. So, it's good for him. But he said he's been going for like 4 or 5 years, and it's just something that all beer geeks need to do once in their lifetime. No, it was a good time. And, you met DT because you were both on the award show last year at the same time.
Yeah. But I want you to give a plug out there so people can tune in. What should they look for? Yeah. Give us something. Give people the people they can come check out. Like, what did he say about any breweries?
Check it out. DT's a good guy. Talking about all, the stuff he mentioned, quite a few breweries that he really liked. He wound up getting I think he said it was the double dry hop Pliny the Elder that they had there that he's never been able to find. And then a couple other, I don't know, it doesn't sound good to me, but, if somebody likes it, there was a brewery that did like a Bloody Mary beer. And he was like, it was almost like drinking a V8. And then they made another one that was a pickle beer and he combined them. And I'm like, it didn't sound good to me, but, hey, someone's drinking this stuff.
That's a heck of a cuvee. But I will say, Shorts Brewing, they actually have a bloody beer. I've done their bloody beer. It actually is pretty tasty. It was more. I thought it was going to. I was kind of worried going in because I'm not a huge Bloody Mary type person, and I had not done like enchilada even before I tried. That was the first tomato-based thing I think I've had from the beer type thing. It was actually pretty good. That led me into trying enchilada and stuff, and then I ended up having Bloody Marys after. I'm like, you know what, this is better than I thought it was going to be because I never thought, like you say, give me a glass of V8. I'm like, nope, no, thank you, and I'll pass. But they pulled it off. So maybe the beer thing. I don't know about the beer and the pickle. I've had pickle beer before. I've had beer. I've never had them together.
Well, I know Ironmonger down in Atlanta does a Bloody Mary Goza, and it's delicious. I get Brian the Beer Snob to send me up a 4-pack every once in a while. It is really good.
Have you ever had, speaking of Shorts, they put out like mustards and jams that are phenomenal. Like they had it was like a soft parade jam. Okay. So I've used that. And then they had like this spicy mustard that, I've used on my bratwurst. It's a really good mustard too.
Oh, cool. Now I've had the soft parade beer, but I didn't know they did the jams and they did the mustards and stuff. So that's pretty cool on their part. I once had a company send me craft beer jellies, which was interesting in itself. They were out of Tennessee and they reached out and they wanted me to see if I wanted to try these jellies they were doing. It was like a new line. I was like, sure. And they were actually pretty good. So it was something different. You never know where beer is going to take you. So you find different things that people are using for different ways. And now you go to the store, you'll have barbecue sauce. It'll be a craft beer barbecue sauce that they have that I've seen on shelves and different things. So yeah, beer has definitely come a long way.
So Dave, you said you like bratwurst.
Yeah. Uh-oh. What are you doing? You're reaching back for something.
I am reaching back for something. Hang on.
Yeah.
No, he's not reaching around for something.
Alan from One Flight Down sent me down a can of this a while ago, and then after I had it, I immediately told him to send me more. But apparently, this is just an experimental batch that they do out in Winnipeg, Manitoba. This beer is called The Worst.
Oh, wow.
It is a mustard sauerkraut lager. It is freaking fantastic.
Really? All right.
Like when I first saw it, I was like, "What? Mustard and sauerkraut in a beer? Oh my god, that's gross!" And I tried it. I'm like, "This is awesome! It tastes so good." I was so impressed by it.
And you guys were talking before I hopped on about Dovetail. They have their anniversary party this weekend. So there's a brewery like across the alley from them, Beguile. So the two breweries kind of join forces. So it's their Oktoberfest party, and they have the bratwursts that are, soaked in the Dovetail Oktoberfest, which are always right there. They're good stuff.
That'd be great.
You sent me the Dovetail before. That was pretty good. So, and JT was having a Dovetail Vienna earlier. I said, I think that's what Dave sent me before. It was pretty good then. Speaking of Chicago beer, well, one, have you been to Guinness yet? Because that's now open.
I'm thinking about going next week.
Okay. So I'd love to hear what your experience is doing that. The second thing is, did I hear right or see right earlier? Is Metropolitan filing Chapter 11 up there?
Yes, that came out yesterday. There's been a lot of issues with the landlord and like fights over like the amount of space. And so the quick little blurb I read said this was more of a restructuring thing. So you could restructure some of the debt and continue going as opposed to, just shutting down completely.
Just Chapter 13. Yeah.
But yeah, it sounded like it was more, they've been fighting with the landlord for a long time about like the square footage, and one person says it's this square footage, the other person says it's that. So, that's something that the courts will have to decide. But yeah, that just came out yesterday.
Wow. Yeah. I saw it earlier today and I was looking at some stuff and I was like, I'll have to find out from Dave if he's on here later. Yeah, that's interesting. So
that's too bad. I liked Metropolitan. That's a beautiful little spot they got there.
Oh yeah, that spot is phenomenal. Nice. But yeah, and I don't want to, I'm not sure. I don't have the articles in front of me, but I know the landlord was saying that like the space above them counts as like square footage, and they're like, it's an open air ceiling. What it's not like you have another brewery on top.
Right.
So it was all kind of weird. So I'll have to read more up on it, but I think from the gist of it, that's the main thing. It was just kind of restructuring debts and trying to get something, out of that space and a better deal from the landlord.
Right.
Yeah. My understanding was square footage. It was basically areas that are accessible, right? That you're like, if you have a house, your attic isn't part of your square footage. It's like your second floor, your first floor. If your basement is finished, it becomes that area. So I don't know, maybe the landlord was trying to pull something over on them or something. So, but yeah, hopefully they do it. Yeah, it was weird. I saw because I know about them. And I know how popular they are and stuff. So I was kind of surprised when I saw that.
Sorry, my dog was running back and forth. I had to mute for a second.
I said, yeah, that's true. Like I said, when I was down there in July, like I love Metropolitan. It's such a great. Oh yeah, the location is amazing. Like
the location is perfect. There's a couple other spots that are close by that you could either walk or take a quick 5-minute Uber ride or cab ride there. But yeah, that location is just beautiful right over the river.
It's awesome. Yeah, I took a bunch of pictures and video there. It was awesome.
Mhm.
Really good.
So the other beer I just opened up was actually the Southern Tier Hazelnut Deluxe Imperial Stout, because we're still doing session beer. So this is just 10% ABV. And you really can't knock their Blackwater series. They're pretty solid with Southern Tier. I mean, whatever formula they're using for these like sweeter type, pastry type stuff, they've got it on lock on the different ones they put out each year. And this is another one that hits nicely.
Listen, I don't mind. I haven't had any Southern Tier beers in a couple of years, but I did get I think I picked up a 6 or a 12 variety pack maybe 2 or 3 years ago when I went up camping. I didn't mind them at all. I mean, it's only a 15-minute drive for me to go over to Niagara Falls, New York, and pick them up.
Yeah, I mean, I look at Southern Tier as kind of being, it's funny you say like old school, because really craft beer, how old is it, right? So it's not really that old, but it's kind of like one of the old school ones when you think about it in that kind of way, holding stuff down from out of New York and everything for as long as they've been doing it and stuff. They're kind of those older craft brewery that you would see out there. The OG would be like, what you call them, Sierra Nevada, before Anchor went down. Anchor, those guys would be like OG, and then you got the OG, and then you got the old heads, so to speak, which is like Southern Tier. Like they're the next level down, right? They weren't there at the beginning, but then they came in that next stage or whatever. So, but yeah, I like it. It's pretty solid. I have a review coming up to the channel on that as well. And shout out to Nemo in the house. Cheers, my friend. Great to see you. We were talking to Gaming earlier. JT said back in the day, the Flames were the team in NHL 93 for Sega Genesis. Theo Fleury was the man. I do remember that back then as well.
Theo is my favorite all-time hockey player. Obviously, I'm a Calgary Flames fan. Where's my glass? Yeah. La la. I'm not wearing my hat. It's so weird actually not wearing my hat, because you guys know I have my hat on like all my beer reviews and anything. And if you don't see me at my job, people who don't see me at my job don't realize that I have hair, because I always have my hat on. Right. Yeah, I love Theo. He was fantastic player. For such a small guy, he was a fantastic player.
Yeah. Came here to the Blackhawks towards the end of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he played all over, and then he started getting into the drugs and crap like that because of his injuries and shit like that. And then after he had his 10-year ban, he tried to come back. And Calgary gave him that 1-day contract just so he could retire as a Flame. And even in the preseason, I think he played 3 preseason games, and I think he scored a goal in all 3 games, and they still didn't sign him to a contract. Which I was surprised. Like if this guy's like he's a fan favorite. If you put this guy on the ice, pay him the bare minimum, whatever the hell it is, $500,000 or $600,000 a year, the fans are going to come to that arena just to see him again. So I don't know why they wouldn't just spend the $500,000 and let him play for 1 more year.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been, something to get more tickets in, I'm sure.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. And like I said, the fans would have loved it just to go, I finally got a chance to go see Fleury, because some guys like me never got to see him play live, right? So.
Yeah. JT has the rock beer out right now, slurping on that.
Very nice.
His better distribution. He relied too much on their great tap room.
Yeah, that's true.
But the thing is, you got to be careful on distribution, because so many breweries just over distribute, and then that ends coming back and biting them in the butt too, where they got to shut stuff down. But speaking of distribution, shout out to Bell's again. Bell's is now in all 50 states, so you may get them in Canada at some point here, because their distribution is everywhere. So
now that they're part of who owns them? Kieran, they own them, and
Kieran owns them now. Okay, yeah. So they extended their footprint under them. Yeah. That's the funny thing too, and I don't know if because I haven't listened to your podcast yet with DT. So I was watching some of the awards, and it was interesting. Some of the people that were winning awards, by their own definition of the Brewers Association, they wouldn't be considered craft breweries, but they were able to win awards at the conference. I don't know if that was something you talked with him about or not, but
no. I mean, the one thing that struck me as weird, because like before I talked to him, I downloaded the list of all the winners and was looking at that, and it like struck me as odd. Like Maine is such a big beer state. Portland, Maine, so many great breweries there. Massachusetts, they each only had one brewery represent, and it was Sam Adams and Allagash.
Mhm.
So I don't know if the festival's too big, if they need to regionalize it more. Because if you're not getting all these great Maine breweries out there, how could you have the best, hazy IPA? At least
Yeah.
let them represent. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't, maybe, if they could do like, break it down into regions, like, the Northeast, the Midwest, West Coast. So maybe more people would attend if you had 5 or 6 different
Yeah.
festivals around the country. Breweries got to spend, they're probably spending up to 10, 15,000 just to send all the reps and ship the beer. For a little
Yeah.
mom and pop brewery, I don't know, especially nowadays, it's tough to get people in the door. Maybe there's a better answer. So, and then you could have like the best of those 5 regions that could participate in the GABF. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it can definitely be cost prohibitive, I think. And I think that's up to the breweries when they look at it, they're kind of like, is it worth us really going out there doing that? Are we trying to drive that much distribution, or are we okay where we're at? We're finding a lake we're in. We don't need to go out trying to conquer the world. We're not going to put into it, right? So you can be in some places like I know, like places Cincinnati that went out there, and Ohio had a great representation on stuff. But I know other breweries that weren't out there that have beer even better than the ones that did go. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, is it worth it to do that? Not everybody's in that position, but I like your idea because that's kind of like I go back to the thing with VidCon, the first time they came to the East Coast, and they took the Great American Beer Fest and moved it from like one year having it in the West, like they do in Denver, next year having it in the East somewhere, like Atlanta or somewhere, that and everything,
Yeah.
and move it
Yeah,
back and
that's another
forth
great
every
idea.
year. They can move it back every year to the other side of the country. You have more people become participants, and I think that will be something that can work out for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough places, convention centers that, Chicago has the McCormick Place
Yeah,
you could put people in. I mean,
yeah,
everybody has this time of year, we have a hockey arena, basketball arena that could be used for a weekend because the season hasn't started yet.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a smart move for them to try to maybe do something where they take it and move it around to different. I mean, even like you saw that with the NFL, right? Like the draft, they
Yeah.
move around to different cities nowadays. They realize not everybody wants to come to New York on stuff if we move it around and do things. So, if you're listening to JBF, just an idea,
Yeah.
throwing it out there. Take the show on the road. You might
Just in
might
case.
benefit from it. Let's see again with the comments here. What's up, Emerson in the house? Cheers, my friend. Beers are on for sure. JT says I can only get their beers at certain stores, not others, even in their hometown. So yeah, talk about Metropolitan where JT was limited to it. Hey, Emerson. I have Theo's autograph somewhere. I once got Jerry West's autograph when I was in college and I lost it, which sucked because at the time he was like the ultimate Laker back in the early 90s when I got his autograph. I mean, he's the NBA logo, so it's kind of important there. 17-3. Cheers, guys. What's up, Keith? Having an evil twin Imperial Donut break. First time I've seen evil twin in North Carolina in a while. Very nice. You mentioned that. It's funny because moving from Kentucky, Cincinnati area to here in Baltimore, I rarely run into evil twin now. So I don't see evil twin as much down here either. And the one time I did see him, I got a great deal. I got like a 4-pack for like $8.99 or something of their Imperial Stout, and I'm one of their Imperial Stouts. They always put out Imperial Stouts, but it's just like you see Evil Twin for $8.99 a 4-pack. You just go into, like Dave would say, put it in the cart. You don't even think about it. You don't even think about it. You just put it right in. But I love some Evil Twin. So it's funny when you do YouTube video reviews, their titles will stretch your characters out because their titles are kind of crazy. But yeah. But Evil Twin Imperial Donut Break, very nice. Tied amount I don't do to the writer's strike. I got goodness of content. I just need cell numbers. Well, you know what, Emerson? They wanted more money, and I said, you know what? You're fired. I'm going to bring in Dave, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to bring in Shane, and we got your replacement. No, I'm just joking.
That's right.
they thought their clout was more than they actually had.
Yeah.
No, no, they actually both had something come up, and both of them said they might get in late if they can. So we'll see. But
I mean, I can see replacing Todd, you know, but you can't replace Mallory. I'm sorry.
No,
you can't replace. But Todd, yeah, you can just see it. But you leave Shannon on the show, but you can get rid of Todd. Just kidding. If you're watching this, Todd, I'm just joking, dude. Seriously, love you, buddy. You're awesome.
No, when Shannon comes on, everybody's like, "Hey, Shannon. Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Shannon." And they don't go Shannon. Me and Todd just become guys at that point. They're all like talking to Shannon. They don't know our name and stuff. Yeah.
Of course.
Like it's all night. It's like Glenn night the Pips. All of a sudden, me and Todd are Pips at that point when Shannon's here.
That's a great analogy. I love that.
Just in the background dancing. That's all we do.
Beautiful.
But definitely enjoying this beer. And you know what? I haven't done any beer news tonight, so let's jump over and do a little beer news if you guys want to talk about that, if that works for you.
Yeah, for sure. Of course.
All right. Nothing but the best for my fan base. Got all the high tech stuff taking place. Beer news. So we haven't talked about Bud Light in a while. So apparently, as they call it, the Bud Light spat. But spat is always a weird word thrown out there, right? So everybody's still mad at Bud Light. Well, not everybody, but let's say they're mad at it. Even Kid Rock's drinking Bud Light again, by the way. Just saying, for all you opposing Bud Light, Kid Rock has actually had Bud Light.
Right.
Basically, they're saying Constellation is assisting Corona now. So Corona sales have been up great since this Bud Light thing. So now Modelo took over as the top beer in the country. Corona's up there growing now as Bud Light is falling down. So, they're happy over there. Although Constellation's losing money in some other spots, the whole Bud Light thing has helped them in their Corona line. So just now. Yeah. And it's funny just because of the country, you always in America, and I say the generality, you hear people complain about Mexicans coming in and like that. You're all buying Mexican beer. I'm just saying. It's kind of something ironic in that whole statement there somewhere. So I'm just throwing that out there. We won't take it, but we'll take your beer.
That's right. That's right.
One of the other articles I saw was pretty interesting. That gave me a thought earlier today, and kind of something that we talked about kind of in a way with Shane thing there with no pour. So there was Beer and Wine had a piece out like why you should always be pouring your beer and wine into a glass, and kind of talked about the different cuts of the glassware and stuff like that and everything, and how it can actually affect that. So when Shane had the glass earlier, you get the big head on it because it does bring out the aroma. People that don't actually pour their beers into it, obviously there's certain situations, maybe you're at a game or you're doing some other event where you're drinking out of a can, you're missing out part of the experience because that aroma and everything that comes out is like 80% of the whole tasting experience. So you should always try to put it into a glass if you can. Sure. Sometimes people ask me, does glassware matter? It actually does, because certain glasses, by the way they're designed, will actually give you more of a visual effect, like some of the ones that are etched, or they'll give you more of the aroma by the way the wide rim is cut. So glasses do matter for the different styles. And one of the things I'm going to be sharing on some stuff probably is different glassware that can actually enhance things. So I'm going to be putting some stuff together. So stay tuned for that as well. Gen Z is not that into beer, Molson Coors says. We're moving into non-alcoholic products. So this kind of led to the poll earlier, which right now 60% say they have not had a non-alcoholic beer in the last year. 40% have. But Gen Z is actually more drawn to the non-alcoholic than they have been alcoholic beer. And I wonder how that's kind of playing into it. Any thoughts you guys have on that? Because I think about generational type things, and maybe there's something there. Maybe it's just if Generation Z is seeing something with maybe alcohol in other generations or affecting some of their thinking or what they're coming up in kind of experience-wise. Any thoughts around
it could be
that?
a lot of states are now, legalizing marijuana. So maybe instead of drinking beer, you're going to the dispensary. I'm sure that has part to do with it. I mean, there's only so many dollars in our wallet. So if you're going out and spending money on, weed or edibles, you're not spending that money on beer.
That could be a part of it.
Yeah, and that was the exact point I was going to bring up too, Dave. Like I said, it's because it's legal in so many different places. Like it's legal up here, obviously, a lot of the states down there, and that seems to be what the younger people are kind of trending to, as opposed to drinking, dad's old stinky beer.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I was thinking
maybe the kids are tired of looking at us old guys drink all day.
Exactly,
So let
right?
me try something else.
Yeah, exactly. Between smoking pot and their freaking White Claws, I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe to see mom and dad pass out in the front yard. Like, I don't want any of that stuff. I want to get this over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say everybody's got to have a thing, right? That you drink beer, liquor, or you smoke dope. Some people do both.
Yeah.
But you got to have a thing. Everybody's got to have a thing, and it's just weird that the younger. But I mean, it's because it's such a new thing with the marijuana being available everywhere. I think that has a big impact on the younger generation going, oh, hey, we're cool. We can do this now. So let's do that, kind of thing. I think that's why it's kind of trending away from the alcohol as opposed to, I mean, they may come back over time when they realize that, beer is superior. I mean,
well, keep in mind, here in the States, only 20 states have legalization of marijuana. So there's 30
I thought there was more than that.
No, because Maryland, we just got it that went to sale this year after being approved last year. We were the 20th. So we were the last state that was actually in. So 30 states more, don't have it than do. Now, obviously, in those other states, you can still probably get it. I'm just saying, you
can get it in any state.
You can get it in any state if you know where to go.
Yeah.
But legally, now a few more than the 20 will have it for a medical type reason, I'm sure. But yeah, so for recrekretional, it's not as thing as medical. my back.
Oh, yeah.
So but then I thought also maybe it's something where they're just a different generation and they're just like not into the alcohol or not into having that. I mean, there's maybe it's something effect with the COVID type stuff where it's kind of like they found other outlets. I don't know. It was just kind of interesting to see how that may be going out. So I thought it was something worth sharing there.
Yeah, for sure. That was interesting for sure.
Let me see here. Oh, any comments on the glass pouring or the Corona? I still can't drink Corona. I'm still not a fan of Corona, by the way. I'm just saying.
No. Like Victoria, if I had to drink a Mexican lager, I love Victoria. And actually today for the first time, I saw it at Costco where I'm like, oh, wow, I could buy a case of this at Costco. But Victoria is a decent, Mexican beer. It's darker, more of a Vienna lager, style. But yeah, I agree. Like I can't drink Corona.
Yeah.
I've never seen Victoria. Obviously, we obviously don't get it up here. But if I'm going to go Mexican lager, I actually prefer Sol over.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If I have to choose between the two, I'm going to take Sol over Corona every day.
Yeah.
So that's just me, though. I mean,
I like the Dos Equis dark, but the Sol's actually decent as well. Yeah. I know some people like Pacifico as well, but I'm not a huge Pacifico person either. But yeah.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago. The only reason I even tried Sol is, I can't even remember when the hell it was. A few years ago, and at the casino I work at, they stopped serving Corona and were giving people Sol, which I'd never heard of at the time. And people were like, "Oh no, can I get a Corona?" Like, "Hey, we can give you a Sol because we don't have Corona." And they're like, "Well, why don't you have Corona?" And I think Corona had a problem with shards of glass ending up in the bottles for a short period of time, and that's why we stopped serving it. Like I said, that was a few years ago, quite a few years before I started doing beer reviews, actually, I think. So you'd have to look that up to get the information on that, because I'm not 100% sure when that was.
Yeah. Let's see. So this is interesting. So I don't know who Lane Kinney is, but it was just part of the title, so I put it in there, South Portland. But the main gist of it, they created a vegan luxury soap from craft beers. So I don't think I've ever seen a bar of soap that was made from craft beer. But then
Shorts makes a good soap as well. So,
but the other part I was going to say, I don't know why it has to be vegan. I'm not going to eat the soap, so why's it got to be vegan? Like, I don't know where now I'm thinking, where's the other soap come from? Like, is that meat soap? Like, I should be trying it out in the shower.
Oh, it's meat fat, right?
Yeah.
But to me, that makes sense.
People.
I saw Chris's story and it didn't taste well to Ralphie from what I saw. I'm just saying.
So, the breweries making soap makes sense to me because I remember during COVID, I don't know about down in the States, but up here, the breweries started to get stuck with vast amounts of beer. And they're like, what the hell do we do with all this beer? And they ended up turning that somehow into hand sanitizer.
Yes, we have breweries doing a sanitizer.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So, so that kind of makes sense. And I mean,
well, the thing is, it opens another line for stuff too from craft. So it's kind of like what I like about the article is the expansion of the line, where it's not just in the beer. Now you have other things where you can actually do that and open up another way to distribute another income stream, so to speak, for some of these breweries and stuff that they can actually earn off of it, which is pretty cool.
Sure, it's smart. Yeah, smart business doing it that way. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like I said, I mentioned earlier the craft barbecue sauces and different things you'll see. I've seen craft sauerkraut they have in stores now too. It's just other ways to get things happening.
Right.
Thought this one was kind of funny, and Dave, you just had DT on there, but Denver brewery Crooked Stave, which you know about Crooked Stave when they're in the States, they spoofed New Belgium's fat tire with its own retired amber ale. So they came out with a retired amber ale. It has like the bicycle on the front and all kind of stuff. So it's kind of like right there in Colorado, making fun of them. So that's kind of some
awesome.
Fun tongue-in-cheek type thing there too. And I still have not had the retreaded. I'm going to say retreaded on the new fat tire, which is why they came out with the retread. But I know you've had it, Dave. You weren't a big fan of it. Totally just like, why even do that? I haven't had the new Sam Adams either versus the old one.
Not good either.
Yeah. It's like, why do you make these changes if you don't need to make the changes? So when you had the new one versus the old one, what was your biggest thing? Like, what was the biggest thing that stuck out with it for you?
It was just nondescript. It was just a generic beer. I didn't like anything about that relaunch. I didn't like the new design, the can design. The one thing you could always go back to with the fat tire, it had that like house yeast and it had that house like biscuity taste to it. Whether you liked it or you didn't like it, but you knew what you were drinking. This new fat tire, it was too clean. I could have closed my eyes and it could have been 1,000 different beers. And the same thing with Sam Adams. It's a new, crisper, cleaner beer. It's nondescript. It's not as good, in my opinion. I mean, hopefully it flies off the shelves and, they make a ton of money, but I just don't think that those were as good as the originals, just trying to clean it up.
Yeah. You made a good point on one of your previous podcasts. I didn't talk to you about there, but Sam Adams, and you were doing the podcast around the Voodoo series, which I do like the Voodoos. I haven't had a Voodoo in a while. I had the Voodoo. I think I told you in the comment afterwards, the Juice Force I posted, which is a decent. I like the Juice Force IPA, but outside that, I haven't had much more of their stuff in a while. Had they stuck with that Rebel line, it'd be kind of interesting to see if they could have done something with it. They kind of turned it over real quick and got out of it. And New Belgium went ahead, and now that Voodoo is just like a separate offshoot from them. It's like bigger
they have their own website for it. It's kind of like Arrogant Bastard and Stone. It just became its own like private entity. It's like totally separate. But Rebel IPA, they did all the grapefruits and the sessions and all that. If they would have stuck around and gave it a little more time, played the long game, if they would have done hazy, juicy, whatever the trendy one is for the week, that might have been able to keep them around a bit. I mean, not that Sam Adams is hurting with Truly and the iced tea, but they put a shit ton of money into Rebel when that came out.
Yeah. I even had like the double Rebel, I think, at one point. So with the green label, so. Paul giving it updates 20-3 now. So Bears are still holding.
No, it's not. I'm looking at the TV right now. It's actually 27-3.
Oh, it's even more now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not happy.
Maybe to go for the Miami Denver score, try to get to 70. That's the new goal. That's the
new high score. Not that I condone wagering, but I might be able to drink better beer here in a minute. Let me look and see.
I'll take most Max US lagers and pour them in a toilet.
Not a bad idea.
Not even the kitchen sink. You're going right to the toilet with them.
That's
It
right.
was always light struck. The lime tend to hide the skunky taste. Prove me wrong. Well, you got to have the lime with the Corona, that's for sure. Hey, we got Wayne in the house. Cheers, Wayne. Happy Thursday to you, my friend. Another great channel. If you haven't checked out Wayne's Beer Delivery, make sure to check him out. Got Trez in the house. Cheers, Trez. What's happening, my friend? I know you're
Cheers,
out there
everyone.
at work and stuff, so great to have you. Yeah, 27.3.
No, there it is. There's the update. Yeah.
Cheers. Yeah. Hey, Wayne. Cheers, Trez. I'm having
There
an
it is.
Imperial cherry pie sour from a local brewery here. Oh, very nice.
All right. Sounds good.
That sounds good.
No, it doesn't. What are you talking about? Do you see the words right there? SOUR. That just spells terrible. That's what that
Oh,
spells.
no.
Oh, don't tell me you're gonna be a sour hater. You're gonna be a sour hater.
You guys argue about the sour for a minute. I'm going to go run and grab another beer. I'll be right back.
It's all
I like
good.
that. I like that. Grab
You know
another
what?
beer and step on up.
You know what? When I first started doing beer reviews a couple years ago, I hated sours. Like I'd be mad reviewing them. But I was like, oh, I gotta do this because it's my job. But you know what? I just over the past 3 years I've been doing this, I actually don't mind them so much now. They're still not my favorite, but I just it depends on what the sour.
Depends what sour. You're right. Yeah, that's the big thing.
Like there's some of them that are just sour and there's no flavor to them. It's just sour. That's all you get. I want something it can be sour, but have some flavor backbone behind it. So it's like, oh, okay, it's a nice raspberry or whatever the hell flavor it is. Don't just punch me in the face with sour and give me nothing for the rest of it.
Right. You are correct.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to crack open this is from Great Lakes Brewery up here in Toronto. This is their pumpkin ale. Really nice. This actually used to be my favorite pumpkin ale until Flying Monkeys came out with their Theater of Madness. And Theater of Madness is still, but to this day, I mean, it's only been 2 years, but still the best pumpkin beer that I've ever had is Theater of Madness. It's awesome. I know I got a can of it up there. Yeah, it's sitting right over. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right there.
Okay.
Fantastic beer. Fantastic beer. Yeah, and that's delicious too. I love this time of year. Pumpkin beers and Oktoberfest beers.
See, I haven't done any pumpkin beers here. I mean, pumpkin beer, now we're in October. I can go ahead and look at it. No, I ran a poll last week. Would you rather see a show cup coming on Imperial Sour or pumpkin beer? And we did a poll on it. And it was funny because you could just see like Mal's face on it. She's like, "Can't we just do both?" Like she really wants to get the pumpkin. Like, yeah, I guess we can. So we'll have a pumpkin beer special. I'm thinking to maybe do a pumpkin beer special. It'll have to be the show before Halloween. So maybe that Thursday before Halloween, because Halloween's on a Tuesday, I think, this year. So probably do a pumpkin show. Yeah, we'll do a pumpkin show at some point here. I have to let them know, and then we get pumpkin beers. And I think I did one pumpkin. Did I do one earlier this year, or I picked up one? I can't remember, but I haven't gone shopping to find any of the pumpkins yet to bring in to do some reviews on. I think the last one I did was a Greater Pumpkin from Heavy Seas, which is a good Imperial pumpkin ale to do. So, and I like some pumpkin. I like Dogfish Head's a good pumpkin. I like Warlock. I like Pumpkin. I haven't done any caramel pumpkin, so maybe I'll grab that. I like the Avery pumpkin beers, especially the sessionable ones at 17.5% or whatever it is for the rump as a KY. Yeah, it's like they booze them up for sure. And so we'll probably do a pumpkin show in a few weeks.
Nice.
But,
well, maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should send you down some pumpkin beers from up here. Because I just sent Dave from Dave's TV down in Florida. I just sent him 6, I think, pumpkin beers from up here to try out. Maybe I'll send you down some food there, Roger.
Well, we can definitely talk there, and I can get stuff from down here as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Modelo. Unfortunately, I got no problem with Modelo's packaging. I think they do okay with it. Although I like the Modelo Negra more than the regular Modelo Especial. So, like if I go to Chipotle, you get Modelo Negra there. It makes it good with it.
What's maybe I'm missing? I mean, I've had Modelo before. I don't mind it. What's the unfortunate packaging?
Yeah, I don't know what JT's there. I mean,
what do you mean there, James? I don't understand. like I said, and to be fair, I've never picked up a case of Modelo, so I don't know if that's what he's talking about. But I have had like cans of Modelo. Not a terrible looking can.
While we're waiting for that, you mentioned the double hearted.
Yeah,
This
double
is the
two
big.
hearted.
It's not the double. They put this in a mix pack at Costco.
Ooh.
This is a 9.5%. This one's not bad.
Yeah. So that was the two hearted variety
Nice.
pack. That was one of the beers in there.
The Winter Oberon that I had before that was just okay.
Mhm.
Their brown ale, and then just the regular two hearted. So it was like you get 6 of each of those at Costco.
Okay. And then let's see here. Wayne says, Shane, it's not pucker your face sour. You might like it. He's at 9.1, does the trick. So he's got a little Imperial there. PA stands with Shane, Ugg Sours.
Yeah, I'm a man.
This one sounds like a place. They just aren't that good to me. Yeah. Great Lakes 666 and Pompous Ass Ales are great.
Yep, for sure.
Pumpkin beers are hot garbage. See, he's going to write it. Paul's not a big pumpkin fan either. It's not that I'm not a pumpkin fan. I got to be in the right mood for pumpkin. And I feel like September is just a little too cool before you get the pumpkin. Like, when I think of pumpkin, I think of like the harvest. I think of like the hay rise. I think of like bonfires. I think of like Halloween. So I went in around October, going into November. That's what I usually prefer to get into some of the pumpkin. They start selling them at the end of July. I'm like, that's way too early.
That's because you don't live in Canada. That's why.
Well,
we start drinking like mid-June. It's like, yeah, it's getting cold in here mid-June. Let's just start drinking these now.
They come out. I'm like, let me get to Oktoberfest first before I even think about drinking a pumpkin. You know,
right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Christmas ales come out now in like September too, so it's like we're not even past.
I saw Christmas beers at Costco.
Yeah,
Breckenridge Christmas beer at Costco today.
Yeah. Great Lakes had their Christmas ale already coming out, and it's just like, yeah, they start. You know what I tell people? It's just like musical chairs of craft breweries. Everybody wants to get there early, so they're not left the one that doesn't have a chair, right? They always be the ones left out and having them on stock. They got to sell off at a discount, so they try to beat each other out to it. So,
right.
Bottles of clear glass. Only get the can. Why? That's why I usually get the cans. I haven't had the bottles in a while. Okay, well, I got you there. The packaging.
That makes sense now because I've only ever had it in the cans. I've never had it in a bottle. So
yeah, so they can.
But now I understand all these. Thanks, James, for clearing that up.
Back on the news here. So Heavy Seas, which is here in Baltimore, they're actually going to be making a line of beers made with just Maryland hops, which is pretty cool because I'm all about breweries helping the local economy and having like local hop farmers. You're going to be able to work with them on stuff. So that's a nice little thing. Another thing towards the non-alcoholic, Molson Coors decided to launch their non-alcoholic Blue Moon for dry January as part of Beyond Beer Makeover. So they're going through a whole Beyond Beer type thing where they're restructuring some stuff. So for those of you doing dry January, if you want, you can check out the non-alcoholic Blue Moon version that's coming out.
Well, have you heard now? Like a lot of people are doing Sober October.
Yeah.
So I've had people like talk to me about like Sober October. I'm like, you already have January. I mean, let's, no, I'm not.
Which I don't do either, so I'm not going to do it in October.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those people aren't my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone sent me a text and like, you know what I do every week, right? No, I'm not participating.
My whole thing has always been like, how much do you drink? You need to take off a whole month. It's moderation, folks. Measure it out. You don't got to take a whole, you don't got to drink every day. You can measure it out. Like, I'm not taking off a whole month. I mean, if it's to a point where you're taking off months and you can't drink beer, why am I here anymore? What
was that song? What was that song from Men Without Hats back in the 80s? It was something like, your friends don't drink, and if they don't drink, well, they're no friends of mine.
Safety Dance.
Yeah.
You mean
I might have changed the words a little bit, but yeah.
You mean this song?
We can leave your friends behind. Because your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine.
No friends of mine.
And believe it or not, Shane did not know I had that actually here on the channel.
I did not actually. It was kind of funny. It's a little slow, but that's the song for sure.
Yeah.
I played that song on my guitar when I was in Chicago. And people like look at me like, what fucking song is this? I'm like, I don't know. It's an obscure Canadian band from Quebec. I mean, not everybody. I don't expect everybody to know it.
Apparently they weren't around when MTV played music videos.
Yeah,
because that's when it was out. When
that video was terrible. That was a terrible. Well,
if you go back and pick it apart now, but I mean, back then,
even then, it was terrible. It was terrible then.
But you always felt good about a little person dancing. It always put a smile on your face. That's how to use the proper term. I still feel like little person is still the wrong term, but that's what we're supposed to say. So,
yeah, I don't know of a better term. Really,
don't.
Unless you're doing like midget bowling or something like that.
Yeah. I just knew back in the day, if you said a midget and a donkey came to the party, everybody started cracking up. They knew something was going to happen. I don't know if it works the same if you say a little person and a donkey came to the party. I don't think it carries the same weight.
No, it doesn't. It's not as funny. It's definitely not as funny. That's for sure.
Oh, let me see. Right here, the Miko's Italian Sour Ice by OIB was pretty special.
That was good. That was really good.
You did that. You did Italian Ice special using that beer and me and Italian Ice as well too. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take off, guys. But Rod J, appreciate you coming on. Jay, nice talking to you.
Hey, nice talking to you too, Dave. Cheers, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good night.
All right, man. Thanks, Dave. Have a good one.
Right.
Cheers, buddy.
You too.
Make sure y'all check out Dave over at Beer in Front for sure. Great stuff. Great podcast. Last week, again, DT Space Castle was his guest, who has a great podcast as well. But they talked about the Great American Beer Fest. So I plan to give that a listen this weekend.
I'm just going to put down Dave's information here, so I want to make sure I subscribe to him as well.
Yeah, Sober October. I'm not ready to die yet. I hear you, JT. Right? Like,
you got it, JT.
Come back to me when I'm like 78 or something. Tell me.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Bender till December, right? And through.
That's a much better
beyond.
Thing. Yeah. That's a way better friggin' thing instead of dry January. Bender till December.
And beyond. That would be the new Toy Story for adults.
Actually, I think today is Canadian Hangover Day, because yesterday was Canadian Beer Day.
Oh.
Yeah, so today's actually Canadian Hangover Day. I don't know if that's a holiday, but I just made it up because yesterday was Canadian Beer Day.
I feel like we're always making up beer holidays. I feel like it always
There's
happens.
tons. I sometimes forget about them too. Like I'll be I'll be looking something on Facebook in the afternoon. And it's like, oh my God, today is International Sour Day. So I'm like, God, I got to go to the liquor store, grab a sour, do a quick video, and fucking post it up. So to keep on top of all this stuff.
Yeah, well, it was like last week. It was we did the show. It was National Drink Beer Day. I thought it was just Thursday, but apparently we need a holiday for that.
Well, that is every Thursday, right? Drink beer day every Thursday night here on Rod J's channel.
I didn't know I needed a reminder on that, but yeah.
just in case. I mean, we're getting older, Rod J. I mean, we're not, we're not 30 or 40 anymore.
What day is it? It's National Drink Beer Day. All right. Thought I missed it.
That's every day. Every day is National Drink Beer Day. All right.
Ash Wednesday, Catholic Hangover Day. Is there a party on Tuesday before Ash Wednesday or something? Or is it? Yeah. I went to Catholic school for 5 years. I don't remember like people getting hammered that Tuesday night before.
What the hell is Ash Wednesday? That's not Pancake Day, right?
No, that's the Wednesday before. We'll say it's before Good Friday. It's the Wednesday when they put the ash on the forehead.
Clearly not Catholic here, obviously. Clearly.
I'm just trying to think. I think it's not the week of Good Friday. It's when the Passover starts. So it's like in February, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Mardi Gras is wrapped around the Catholic religion too, when they do the Mardi Gras. So like, I think it's that Wednesday after Fat Tuesday, maybe. JT would know because he's from Louisiana. But yeah.
Right.
That's probably why it is, because it's Fat Tuesday. They're getting hammered, and that's Wednesday's the next day.
That could be.
So that's probably why it's Hangover Day. But,
yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're not in New Orleans, are you getting hammered? I don't think a lot of our cities are getting hammered unless you're in New Orleans. Because that has to be little crazy of a Catholic procession line coming in smelling like booze the night before.
Yeah, for sure.
Poor priest is like, what were you drinking last night?
What was I drinking last time? Still drinking it to this morning. What are you talking about?
Got a line of Otises from Mayberry. Like, what's going on here? That's an Andy Griffith little thing there for those that don't know who Mayberry is. Yeah.
You had to explain it for the younger folks.
For you young folks, yeah. Mayberry, Andy Griffith show. Look it up on Google.
Because I can't whistle, so I got to hum it.
Which Otis had to be the best trained jail inmate ever. Come in, lock himself up in the jail. Just come in and
that's it.
Knew he was hammered. Just go right to the cell, close the door behind him, and lay down.
He knew the routine. It's perfect.
He knew the routine. You can only drink one beer a day for a whole year. 1 beer a day for a whole year? I could do that.
Does it have to be the same beer?
Oh, he didn't say that part of it.
That makes a big difference. And do I get to pick it? Because if somebody else has to pick the beer that I have to drink one a day, that's going to be a rough year depending on what it is.
Yes.
We can go so many ways with that.
I'm going to give you some secret of it. We have replaced Shane's beer with Colt 45. Let's see if he drinks it.
I don't mind Colt 45. Because I've only tried a handful of malt liquors, but Colt 45, I actually don't mind. That's probably the best one that I've ever come across.
Like, today is Thursday, May 5th, and we gave him Old Milwaukee.
You give me Old Milwaukee on my birthday, you asshole. Because that's actually my birthday.
Is that actually your birthday?
That is actually my birthday. Cinco de Mayo is my birthday. So it's really funny that that's the date you came out with. That's pretty awesome.
I did not know this, folks. I swear I did not know that was his birthday.
It's totally not. That was freaking funnier than hell. Of all the days of the year to pick. 365 choices. You pick my birthday. That is awesome.
I'm getting a Powerball ticket tomorrow. I'll tell you.
You should, buddy. You should for sure. I'm only looking for 1%. Not even 1%.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for half or 10%. No, 1%.
I'm not even looking for all 6 numbers. Just give me 5 numbers, and I'm good with whatever that few $100,000 I'll get. So yeah.
Oh, that sets you up pretty good, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ash Wednesday's the day after Fat Tuesday. Okay.
After Fat
Funny,
Tuesday.
I had to go back to think about alcohol to remember my stuff back from Catholic school. I guess I'm drinking tomorrow. I'm just not in the mood to do that yet. Well, yeah. Well, Paul wasn't saying one for the year, just one every day. You couldn't drink more than one. You couldn't drink more than one, only one.
Well, the good thing about that is,
and he said you could do any beer you want.
Perfect. Yeah. But the good thing about that is tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
And I'm for some reason I'm reminded of a line from the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Where he says, "Well, what if there is no tomorrow? There wasn't one today."
Yeah. Great movie too.
Great. Yeah, it's great. I love that movie. It's so awesome.
Beautiful Andy, just beautiful. Floyd. Yeah, Floyd. Yeah. Floyd was doing some type of drug. I wasn't sure which one, but he was definitely doing something there. Andy. Yeah, you were doing something, Floyd. I'm just saying. It's funny when you go back. We were talking about this a while back on a few shows ago. Like, you go back and you watch some of the cartoons in the 70s and 80s, early 80s. Yeah, there were definitely some people doing some drugs in those studios that were coming up with the stuff they were coming up with.
Sure. But you know, when you're a kid, you don't notice it.
You don't notice it when you're a kid. But I feel like our parents should have noticed it. They should have knew something was going on.
I don't know what your parents were like, but like my parents in the 80s were like, yeah, okay, go.
Yeah,
go outside, make sure you're home when the street lights are on. They didn't.
They locked the door. They locked the door behind you like my parents did, right? So like you can't get back into the lights are on.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
That's how they did us back in the day.
Yeah, that was a good time to grow up.
Yeah.
Any beer you want, but it's got to be the same beer every single day, though, right?
Yeah.
But I get to choose the beer. I would have a hard time picking what I want to drink every day for a year.
Well, every day you'd be a different beer. You just got to choose one for that day.
Oh, if I could pick a different beer every day, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But being stuck drinking the same beer every day for 1 year, that would.
I think that would be the case, unless I was wrong, Paul. I say yes, any beer you want, but I thought it was every day. But if not, I can still pick. I I could probably do that if you only had the one beer, you to drink that every day for one day. I can see where it could be monotonous after a point, but
that's what I'm saying. Like drinking the same beer, like just one of them, and that's the only one you can have, and you drink that every single stinking day. That's like having, geez, I don't know. It's like if you had a steak for dinner every single night, like after a couple months, you're like, fine, I don't even like steak anymore. It's boring now because you're having it every single goddamn day.
I don't know. I'd be like Uncle Rico, Napoleon Dynamite. I'd be killing the steak.
Yeah, pretty much.
Grandma must stop eating all her steaks. Another great movie, Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, for sure.
It was just one of those movies that kind of what I liked about that movie was just like the humor. It was there, but it had to settle in for a second, and then it was just like,
right, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so yeah.
I like that kind of humor though. That humor that makes you just think for that quick second, like, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to think about it for just a quick second.
That's why I like a lot of the English shows. They kind of had a thinking type humor on some of their stuff there when you're watching them. It's just like, okay, I see what you're doing there. Yeah,
yep, that's true too. Yeah,
it sounds easier. I believe it would be. Yeah, doesn't matter which beer you drink every day. I still would have a hard time. Yeah, so you can have any beer. I think it doesn't matter which beer you have. So you would just have a hard time stopping at one. See, if I could choose any beer every day, I mean, yeah, I think I'd be fine.
Yeah, I think I would be too.
Yeah. I mean, on occasion when I drink, I mean, like I do this show here and I have a few beers, but during the other parts of the week, some nights I don't even drink. And when I do drink, it might just be one beer, watching something.
Right.
Like when the show's like that and I'm done. So, yeah, that wouldn't be a problem for me, I don't think.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do too. I'm not a lot of people because you're a beer reviewer. You must drink a lot. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I only have a couple beers a week, really.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, we did a video years ago. This was like I started in 2015. I think it was like 2016 or 2017. And one of the beer tubers came up with like 5 questions and was tagging other people, and then you would tag other people. So the whole getting around the whole beer community. We were kind of answering and stuff. And one of the questions were about consuming beer. And it was, I think people were surprised to see, like a lot of people said, they don't drink as much as people think we drink. Like everybody was pretty much like 3 to 5 maybe beers a week, if that. And it might be like on the weekend they have a couple here and there, but it's like doing reviews or something like that and everything. And then some other people were like kind of splitting the beers. Other people, like they had 2 people doing their show, so they were kind of splitting beers. So it wasn't even that much when you thought about it overall. And I think the idea is that people think we are always consuming beers and we're not really drinking it. It's like the shock when some people get when they see like their favorite craft brewers out there holding the Miller Lite in his hand. And they're like, oh, you're drinking a Miller. Like they drink Miller Lights and Miller High Life and all kind of shit all the time because they don't want a heavy beer. They're around all kind of stuff. They can't sit there drinking Imperial Stouts all day long. So they'll have something like a light lager and it might be one of the macro stuff. People seem surprised when they see it happen. And it happens more than people realize. So,
I think a lot of these guys that don't know as per se, like they say, oh, you're a beer review guy, so you do all these fancy craft beers. And like we're just regular people. Like yesterday for Canadian Beer Day, I had a Molson Canadian. Like how generic lager can you get? It's like drinking a Modelo.
Yeah, and I just had like some of my check-ins more recently were all Modelos I was doing for a bit. That I got a 6-pack of it like a few weeks ago, and I was going to something light to have around. And I was checking in. I know people are looking around town like, "What the hell? Like you're drinking a Modelo?" Like, yeah, I'm not drinking like an Evil Twin or something like that today. It's just like a nice, easy drinker,
Yeah, and it's nice that you can drink a beer and not have to do a goddamn video for it.
right.
Which is always my problem. Like I said, I have a fridge full of beer, and they're all review beers. And
that's one thing with the beer. If there's a beer tuber phobia or whatever like that, and everything is like you're going on the channel and you're like, I don't know what beer to have because you got all your beers marked for reviews, and it's like, do I dare crack open another beer that I have for a review? And then it's like, what if I like that beer? then I'll be pissed because I could have done a review on it. It was that good of a beer. I should have shared it with everybody else. Now I can't do that because I've used it on the show. Now I got to go find it again. I can't find it again because it's not available right now.
Right.
You can't get it to next year.
I have been guilty of that several times. You just like, you're watching a hockey game and you're like, you're all out of your, Modelo or your Miller Lite, whatever you're drinking, right? You're like, I'm just going to crack this. It's probably not that good. And then you're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. And then you get all mad because you've already poured it and you're like, damn it. I'm guilty of that probably once every 2 months or so.
It catches you off guard.
It's really, really good.
You're not prepared for it. Yeah.
No, not at all.
JT said 27-11, the comeback has begun.
Yeah, go Commanders. I honestly, James, I have so much freaking money sitting on Washington right now. It's not even funny. I have like 3 different betting apps that I use, and I bet Washington on all 3 with some parlays and some single game parlays. And this guy's got to get 50 rushing yards and all, because I was 100%. And again, I'm a hockey guy, not a football guy.
Yeah.
So this is just kind of tied me over until hockey starts. I literally died during the summer because all that's on is baseball. Yeah. And I hate baseball. So it's like, but every once in a while I'll throw a couple bucks on like, the Blue Jays, and that's just a freaking waste of money. So I might as well just drop it on the goddamn floor and walk away.
Well, isn't hockey back now? Or is it exhibition? I thought I was flipping through and seeing hockey games.
Yeah, there's a preseason right now. I don't think the regular season starts until which Friday, maybe Monday, I think, is the first regular season game.
Okay.
No, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 2. I think it's the 10th. I think
so we're close. So we're like a week out or so before it starts.
Yeah, not even. Like, yeah.
It's funny. I started getting, over this last few years, I got more back into the CFL. Watching those football games, just because I feel like the CFL, people would say, well, the players that are better in NFL versus CFL, but it's kind of like almost harder in the CFL.
Oh, sure.
You have that less down.
Yep.
And then you got a bigger field you got to cover. And then it's kind of like you've got a different mentality and stuff like that. It's like it's a different set of scoring and everything like that. Like how you have to score if you kick. Like there's no like fair catch and stuff like that. Like you get points for a couple different ways, and it's just like you're involved the whole game when you're watching the CFL, essentially.
Sure.
And their coverage on stuff like is a lot better than NFL. Like the coaches, the camera work, all kind of stuff they do, and they definitely got better halftime shows than the CFL they do in the NFL. They don't even show them in the NFL. They just go to the score update stuff. But you watch CFL, you get a little show at halftime. It's just like a nice experience and stuff like that and everything. So I kind of gotten into some of that, and we've had NFL players that built fame up there. Warren Moon was up there, Doug Flutie was up there. You have players that kind of built their name up in the CFL before they went to the NFL. So I just find it more of an entertaining show overall.
And it's funny because a lot of I'm trying to word this so it doesn't sound really bad, but I find a lot of like Americans or people who like NFL football and the structure that is, they don't like CFL because they find it very boring, because CFL is basically run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt. That's because there's only 3 downs. That's all you can do. Run, pass,
you get
punt.
3 downs, right?
Yeah,
right.
It's right. But like you said, it is a harder game. It's a longer field. It's a wider field, but it's longer field, as well, right?
Yeah, and you don't always get the run passes. Sometimes it's like pass, and like for people like high scoring type stuff, some of the offenses are more pass, and like the run, then they have to sneak in because you don't have that other down. You have to be careful when you actually call that run play to make sure you pick up something from it. And it's still the fun of the goalpost being in the front of the end zone, right in the back. Because they'll run plays and you'll see a player occasionally run into the post, which is hilarious.
It happens. It does happen.
So there's a little entertainment factor there as well. So I enjoy it still. So I think it's pretty cool to watch some of the games there. And they got like 8 teams, so it's kind of like the best of the best that play in that league for the CFL. But again, you get NFL players that up there, they do some great stuff, and before they come back down to the NFL. And the NFL nowadays, it's almost like tag or flag football with some stuff in some regard. I mean, you still have people get hit, you still get people get injured, obviously, and all that kind of stuff, but it's not like Like we were talking earlier, when they showed the old footage of Dick Butkus, how he played football, that's the days I remember, like through the 70s and the 80s, the 90s of watching football versus now. It's like now, with the rules they have, if Joe Montana was a quarterback, he'd be playing quarterback to age 70 because like you can't touch the quarterbacks really, right? So it's like a whole different thing. Or Terry Bradshaw or some of these other guys that had to be tough when you did some of these type of roles as well. So it's interesting.
Right, for sure.
Beer is like potato chips.
That's the perfect analogy.
Yeah. And there's actually a beer flavored potato chip out there now. Can't say I've recommended because I haven't had it, but one of my friends had it. He wouldn't recommend it. He was talking about how terrible. So he said it tasted like throw up the next morning on this potato chip here. So that was his phrase. It was a Lay's. I'm just saying, you see the Lay's beer flavored potato chips, go in cautiously. That's all I'm saying.
If I see it, I'm going to pick it up. You know, you have to. You have to pick it up. Beer potato chips. Yeah, let's go. In the cart it goes.
And I expect a review if you do, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I'll do that.
What's up, Jody? Cheers to Bourbon Bounty in the house. Oh, I appreciate you. You all know Jody on Bourbon Bounty. If you are a whiskey person, especially a bourbon person, make sure to check out Jody's channel. He's definitely knows the bourbon stuff and always has some great stuff there. Thursday nights before we go on, he's doing this thing. He usually does like a live giveaway on things too. So check out Jody. Nice. Got Arius.
Now that we have, Arius. Seeing as we have a bourbon professional sitting there watching, I'm really glad I'm sitting right in front of my bottles of bourbon behind because I would get laughed at. Because I think, I've got like one bottle of bourbon on there, and I'll get teased for what it is. So I'm just gonna sit here and just block the total view of the bourbon that I have on my bar.
Jody doesn't hold anything against anybody. In fact, he would give you pretty good pointers, I'm sure, on different stuff. He might say, if you like that, try this.
I'm not real. I don't mind bourbon. I'll drink some bourbon. Not one of my go-tos. Like I always tell people, like I have a pretty extensive bunch of bottles on my bar. At one point I had, I think 130 different bottles on my bar.
Oh, wow.
But that was way before I was doing craft beer. Because we're going back years and years, but I didn't drink beer. I didn't like beer. I was always into the fruity, girly cocktails. Like, hey, we go to a strip club with my buddies and they're all like ordering like, hey, give me a Labatt Blue, give me a Canadian, give me a Rickard's Red. And I'd be like, hey, can you guys make like a Singapore Sling? And the guys just be like, get the fuck out. Like, sorry, I should get out.
Like, is this guy with y'all?
Yeah, he's not with us. He's not with us. Because I didn't like beer, right? And then I don't know, one day I just decided to magically like beer. And now I just absolutely love it. And I don't hit the liquor as much as I used to, that's for sure.
At that point, you were that person. And like, there's always one. You were the one.
I was the guy. Yeah, I was that guy. I fully admit that. I used to be that guy. I was the embarrassment of the group. Not so much anymore, but I used to be, for sure.
I used to, back in the 90s, I used to bartend and stuff. I was definitely more into spirits, liquor back then and stuff. So I drank various whiskeys, gins, vodkas, stuff like that, everything. And I wasn't as huge into beer. I had beer. We were in top party school and we always had beer around, but I was definitely going through more of a liquor type stage back then. So funny thing is now, like back then I wasn't a big fan of wine. I'll drink wine at times now too, which I just had to find the right wine that you actually find. Just like beer, you find the right ones you actually can enjoy. Like I like a good Shiraz, I like a good Cabernet. So it's just finding those things that fit your palate.
Yeah, and that's right. And your palate changes over time regardless of what you drink, whether it's wine, beer, bourbons. Like you could sit there and drink a really nice bourbon for many years, and then just one day it's like, you know what, I don't like this anymore. You got to move on to something else.
And PA said, I drink a lot. I drink Imperial Stouts all day long because I'm not weak. Well, you're a superhero, Paul. So
Go Paul.
Jody, I drink a full flight of Old Forester bourbons earlier. I'm now drinking Coors Light because rehydrate, mofo. That's his hydration is going back to Coors Light. So yeah,
nice.
Feel bad when I make open beers. I don't share them, but if it's really good, I stop feeling bad drinking. No, I mean I've gone through bombers of big beers. I've gone through the magnums of big beers. So I mean, if you're there by yourself, it's just like, well, I can't let it go bad. I can't let it go bad.
I mean, it's open. It's open, right?
Open. You got to finish it. Do? So, yeah. It was like somebody asked on one of the other groups I was in the other day, like, anybody still get crowlers? Do they still sell? Like, I was like, yeah. It's like I got a 32-ounce crowler of Oscar Blues Barrel Aged BA 22 Volume 10 the other day, 14%, 32 ounces, knocked it out. Like, what's up? Like, it's not a big deal. It's 32 ounces of a 14-ounce beer, 14 ABV beer.
I do have a crowler up there somewhere. I think it's right there, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm not facing it. There's actually not a lot of play. I don't know if you guys, if crowlers are readily available down there, but there's not a lot of places up here that do crowlers.
Yeah.
There's not.
We have a few. Well, the two key stores I go to now in Baltimore, both of them will do it. A couple other places I found will do it. Crowlers are pretty. I would say out of 10 stores, actually, I'll probably find about 5 or 6 that will have a crowler.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Now. Yeah, but now here in the States, at least, and you might be seeing out there, a more favorite size is 19.2. A lot of these places are serving 19.2 cans. And it seems more people are picking those up rather than getting the crowlers at the 32 ounce. So 19.2, nice size, a little bit bigger than your 16, obviously, but then you don't want the full 32 possibly. So you're seeing more and more breweries that are going to that size. So,
I mean, if you can't drink a 32 ouncer, like, just go home. Like, really.
Yeah,
just go home. Don't even bother showing up at the brewery. Just go home.
And Bounty said, your stuff is good. Mine is solid, but he's collecting. He's got a huge collection for sure. You had to find the right woman. It's the only reason men drink wine, right? Well, so you're at one of those dinners or something like that, and it's like they come around, it's like wine, and it's just like you'd rather have a beer or you'd rather have like a shot of whiskey, but you're there with the executives and they're like all drinking wine, and you got to go along with the party, right? So,
sure. You've always got to go along with whatever everybody else is drinking, especially if it's you know, like you said, some executives or whatever the hell you're dealing with.
Which is why they created the flask. You can go to the bathroom, take it out of your suit jacket, hit it real quick, come back in.
That's right. That's right. That's a great idea. Fantastic idea for sure.
And I've got a few of those. I'm just saying, I'm prepared. I was a Boy Scout back in the day. It's about $9 for 32. Yeah, it's a good price. Like I can get, the one I got for the Oscar Blues, it was $10.99, 32 ounce, 14 ABV, Oscar Blues, barrel aged stout. I mean, that's a good deal. You know, if you were getting a 4-pack of that, I mean, you're still going to pay a good amount for it. But yeah, I like the crowler, and plus, I like to get it on draft. So a lot of these places have it on draft. So you want to get there, get it a crowler, take it home, and enjoy it versus getting something that's been stored for a bit of time.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
That to powder up means I have to hit the flask.
I'm gonna remember that for next time. I gotta go powder up. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, well, you can still do the pictures, especially for like some of the Mexican restaurants. They'll bring you a pitcher of beer and stuff like that. But in college, yeah, we used to go through some pictures.
God, you know what? I haven't been to a restaurant that's served pitchers in God. I don't even remember the last time I.
Even now, like some of your Mexican restaurants, because they usually have pitchers. At least the ones I've been to around the States.
Really?
God. Yeah.
Like I haven't. Yeah, and I remember there's one place we used to have up here. It was a chain. What the hell was the name of it? O'Toole's, I think it was called. And they used to do like the beach bucket, like like little kids like beach pail with the little shovel.
Yeah.
In it, and they would do like a like a margarita or something like that in it. I remember that, but God, yeah, it's been forever since I've seen a place that does actual pitchers of beer.
Did you have the and I was the only time, like I said, I don't really drink Corona, but the only time I've had really Coronas in the last decade or whatever is the Corona Ritas. So they would get like a big margarita.
Oh yeah, with the Corona.
Yeah, the Corona would be dipped into it. So if you drank the margarita, the Corona would fill into it and stuff. Yep. So, which technically I don't consider that drinking Corona because it's mixed with the tequila and stuff. So
right. No, that's like a beer cocktail at that point, right? Really.
Which that should tell you Corona's weak in itself because that's the only alcohol tequila doesn't get in a fight with.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Anything around drink. Yeah, I remember back in college, we had one of our restaurants. It was called Speedy Gonzalez. It was a Mexican restaurant, and we would get wings and like pitchers of beer. I'm not gonna say it was the prettiest sight, probably to a lot of people's houses the next morning, but that was what you did. And the night you get out there, you get all these, and the wings were spicy as hell. Would you just be getting pictures of beer, or you'd knock them back?
Yeah. Do you remember like 5-cent wings, Rod J?
Oh, 5 cent?
Or 10-cent wings even?
I remember. Well, I remember them being. I think 10 cent or 20 cent. It was something. Yeah, I remember the good deals you used to get on this. Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember they usually we used to get like 10-cent wings, but every once in a while, like on a Tuesday night
special or something.
Yeah, like they have like 5-cent wings.
Yeah.
And now they're like $1 a piece now, or almost.
Dude. Well, did you guys ever get the 20? You ever get the 25-cent drafts?
25-cent draft. God, our country would never allow 25-cent drafts. Are you kidding me?
When we were in college, we had one of the bars. Actually, a couple bars would do it too. And maybe it was a college type thing, campuses, but you would get like a 25-cent draft, 12-ounce beer, 25 cents. So for a college kid, $5, you were in heaven.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Didn't matter what the beer was. You were good to go at 25 cents a draft. So
yeah, absolutely. Good for the night, man.
And we'd have some bars do the $5 drink and drown. $5 you could drink all you want.
Holy Jesus, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, good. We're America. That's how we do things.
I feel sorry for the service staff at those bars, because it's all because like you said, it's all going to be like college kids, and they're just going to be friggin' pounding down their Coors Light or whatever the hell it is that you're drinking.
Yeah, and
they're just going to be stupid, because that's what college kids are. They're just friggin' stupid. And they get drinking. They think they're big tough guys. And they're, hey, don't you know who I am? Yeah, you're some little snot-nosed 19-year-old kid. Get the fuck out of my face. Oh, sorry, 21 down there. Sorry. 21. Sorry, we can drink at 19 up here.
The year I went to college, it went from 18 to 21. Boy, was I pissed. The year before it was 18. And so it's funny, when I went to WVU and then talking to RA would tell us, like, yeah, back when it was 18, every corner of these dorms would have a keg in it. And I'm just like, oh man, I would have never made the class.
Right?
Get up, go take a shower. Oh, let me get a beer before I get in the shower. You know what? I'm gonna just stay here, I think, for today. Yeah.
Good old shower beer.
Yeah.
That's Drew from Beer for Breakfast, Facts for Snacks. That's his specialty. He does a lot of shower beers.
It's like, yeah, that's it. WVU, you can get in, but you could easily get out too, because I had one friend, he had like a 0.5 his first semester. Like a 0.5, like literally, were you not going to class? Like, how do you get a 0.5 in a semester? Like, literally, you had to not, they give you points just for showing up and signing the paper. So it's kind of like, how did you not get, you could, some people didn't make it through. It was literally like, look to your left, look to your right, two of you won't be back.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's crazy.
Oh, those are the days. A little crazy down in Baltimore, right? Yeah. Baltimore compared to Cincinnati, I feel like the places I've been to are definitely a little bit more tame. Even like the games, like after the games and the people walking here after the Orioles game versus the Cincinnati after a Reds game. Oh my God. Cincinnati, people in the middle of the street. Woo, we won. Woo, kiss my ass. Woo. Like here, everybody's all kind of more polite about it, kind of just moving along, make sure they don't get hit by a car. They didn't even care since that. They'd be like just walking right out. Like, I'm a pedestrian. You got to stop. Like, so yeah, it's more tame in Baltimore than Cincinnati for sure. So
yeah. That's what I need. I need to get my ass down to Baltimore, and we'll go and we'll pound a couple beers there, Rod J. Or, this is the little self-promotion here. You need to come up to the 2024 Beer Tubers Convention in Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, that I'm hosting next year.
That might be possible because the wife does want to go back to Canada at some point, I think. So
you should, buddy. It's going to be a good time. Like I said, you're gonna have myself, Brian the Beer Snob, Nutmeg 2 Palmetto. I think Alan from One Flight Down is coming from Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Mallory and Chew are probably coming up, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Dave from Dave's TV, I think, is planning on coming up. Okay. It's a good time. It's a good weekend. You get to come and see Niagara Falls. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous spot.
As close as you guys are there, it should be like Joe from the Beer Patrol and them, because he's right there in Buffalo. The other side, Niagara, and a couple other guys I know up there
for
too.
sure. So, like I said, it's open to anybody who wants to come. If anybody's interested in coming to our third annual Beer Reviewers Get Together, get a hold of me. Shane's Craft Beer Review at gmail.com, or just get a hold of me on my channel, Shane's Craft Beer Review, and I'll hook you up with all the information you need for next July.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah,
And
it's gonna be an awesome time.
Paul, PA Bruners, he's only down in Eastern PA, so he's not that far actually either.
Now, come on up, Paul.
Yeah.
Get a hold of me for sure, and I'll get you on the list and we'll talk.
Yeah, they are huge with the Modelitos and the little. Yeah, I mean they put the 12-ounce Corona in like this big glass. You know what I found? I haven't really been to a lot of, and I don't think I've been to any of the Mexican restaurants here in Baltimore. I've kind of gotten food delivered, but I go to the ones. We had a favorite one that was interesting when we were in Kentucky. We would go to. It was only like 5 minutes from the house, and I would go in, you order, and it was this kind of like, what do you want to like? They were kind of like, sometimes I would get a beer, sometimes I'd be like, oh, let me get a Jack and Coke, like that, everything like that. Literally, they would come back with like a tall glass, not like the little glass, like a tall glass, and the Jack be here and the Coke be here. And they'd be like, and I'd be like, my man.
Right. That's when you just grab your wallet and you start doing one of these.
Yeah.
Like, here's your tip, guy. Yeah, there you go. Make it rain.
Like, gonna drive like 1,000 feet from here, right? Like,
yeah, that's awesome. Holy
and they'd
crap.
be like, and my wife would go. They knew she liked margaritas, and they always know her margarita and stuff. And she would get the margarita. She'd take that first sip, like, oh yeah, that's it. That's the one, right? Yeah. So we were in well with them, so that was good. They had a nice
for
little
sure, that's
restaurant.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
There's something that goes along with commonality of going to a place over and over, where you become friends with the owners and the people that work there. They kind of know the stuff, and
sure,
that becomes a nice little benefit to have for sure.
Yeah.
75-cent wings on Tuesdays, where bourbon's at. Yeah, the inflation there. What's 75 wings is? I mean, you get 10 for $7.50, 20 for $15. I mean, that's better than what you're seeing on your regular menus. But back in the day when it was 25 cents or 20 or 10,
yeah,
you rack up. I remember when it used to be Arby's used to have 5 for $5. You get 5 roast beef for $5. And then then it went to 4 to 5. Then it went to like 3 for like $5.25 or something like that and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't been to Arby's in years. I used to love going there, but it ended up getting too expensive for what you get at Arby's, I think. Well, I mean, all the fast food places are like that, like McDonald's and Burger King. They're all like that now.
Yeah. Well, now you get like the apps, right? So I get like the McDonald's app. I'll go once in a while, and it's just like, they always put a deal in there. Oh, you get a double cheeseburger, buy one, get one free. Expires today. Oh, that's not a bad deal. I'll get 2 double cheeseburger and a soda, whatever, grab a quick bite. Come back the next day. Double cheeseburger expires. Like, this expires every day. So why do you keep telling me? Just like leave it on the phone. Like, you don't got to keep telling me every time it's going to expire at the end of that day.
Well, they got to tell you that so that you keep coming. Like, oh my god, I got to go there today because this expires. That's brilliant marketing on their part. That's how you market your products. Doesn't matter. Just it expires today. Get on it.
Like, I don't believe that anymore. Worked at the bar in 2007, and we still had quarter Paps. Yeah, quarter for Paps. There you go. Yeah. So they had places where you would do stuff like that. Yeah, and they were like back in the early 90s when it was actually past Blue River became the hipster beer, right? You'd have places doing like 25-ounce, $1.75 Pabst pours. Which Pabst isn't a bad beer. You can actually sit with the Pabst and be just fine. But you eat like $1.75 and you get like a 25-ounce pour. You're like, okay, I'll do that.
Guys, I cannot wait for everybody to come up to Niagara Falls last year because the majority of the people that are coming up are American. There's a few Canadians that are going to be there. But I can't wait till the Americans come up here and be like, you want how much for a beer? What? Like,
yeah,
we pay a ridiculous amount for beer up here.
Oh, I know how much you guys get hit. I have some of my other Canadian friends up there. Yeah, they're like one of my friends. He really likes Miller Genuine Draft, and it would be like $40 a case or something like that. They're like 40 for. Are you kidding? He's like, that's how much it costs us out. They're like, they would never get that out of the States down here. I don't even pay 40 for MGD.
I don't even think it's. I don't think it's that cheap. I honestly don't think it's that cheap.
It might be more now because that was a few years ago, so it might be more now.
Well, I'm going to look it up here really quickly. So if I look like I'm not looking at the screen here,
and he would go to LCBO as well because I know you go to LCBO does all the beer stuff, I guess. Shower beer, yeah, a lot of people do shower beer, having a beer in the shower.
Well, it's the stupidest.
Almost the message myself.
Yeah,
I think we want them.
There's nothing wrong with a shower beer, like I said.
Yeah. But did you have a 0.5 semester, JT? That's pretty awful. That's like flounder on Animal House at that point, I'm on it. Well, bourbon, it is actually Shane's Craft Beer Reviews. It's his channel. And let me take that off there so you can see Shane's Craft Beer Review that you can pull
Shane's
up right
Craft Beer
there.
Review.
Right there on YouTube.
For sure. I actually, I had a, oh no, I didn't have that. Today I had the special announcement for my summer project big premiere. Which, give me a second. Why did I spell Miller wrong?
MILLER.
I think I only put one L in. Do you not know that that's what I'm trying to type in is Miller? Really?
Just put MGD.
I did that. It didn't accept that either. I know we have Miller. Seriously? Oh my God.
It's like your site is like, we don't take macro. We don't take macro.
I'm literally looking at your search.
Like,
Miller did not match any products. Yeah, it did. Don't be a dick.
It's under Miller Coors. So it's a Canadian company that owns it, so it should be there.
What the hell is going on with this stupid site? This is why I don't go to the beer store. They can't even get their website to work properly. Oh my God. I literally just typed in the words Budweiser in the search engine, and it said Budweiser does not match any products we have.
Well, that's weird.
God, this place sucks. See, this is the troubles we have up here in Canada. We can't even get a freaking can't even figure out what the hell how much our beer costs. Beer store. Okay, yes, that's correct. That's the website I want to start. I'm just going to be talking while I'm searching here.
And there's Shane's channel.
Shop our beers. Hey, I'm just going to do it manually, and this is going to take a freaking second or two.
Shane's
just because I'm curious how much
chat.
Super. Yeah, come check it out, guys. Miller Lite here. Let's just click on that.
We can get you to 500 so you can get the community and all that kind of stuff open.
For anybody,
I didn't realize you weren't at 500 yet.
Is interested. I do have an absolute okay, Miller Lite. Wow. Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
I'm going to give you our current price on a case of Miller Lite. So 24 355 mil. I'm assuming that's a can, not a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
$50.95
for a case of Miller Lite.
$50.95. That's only for the 355.
But what's that kick over to American?
Like I don't know, $17 or something.
Well, I mean, no, is it that much of a difference?
I don't know. Give me a second.
Because I was thinking a case of Miller in the States, you're probably looking at around 17 or 16, maybe.
Okay, so if I convert, well, it was $50.95. So I just converted $50 Canadian into American, and it comes out to roughly $36.50.
Oh, that's way too much. Way too much.
That's what I mean. Like we pay a fortune for beer up here.
So it's a Canadian company that owns Miller now. You think they give you a break?
You would think so, but our government likes to just friggin' stick it to us when it comes to beer and alcohol. Like it's funny. Like you can go. The Niagara region is known for its wines up here. We have one of the best wine regions in the world. So I could go literally take a 7-minute drive and go to one of the wineries and pick up a bottle of wine for, let's say, $14. And then I can take a 14-minute drive over to Niagara Falls, New York, and buy that same bottle of wine for like $4.50. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy the way that we get taxed so bad on our beers up here. It's crazy.
It's like, come on, Justin, do better.
He's useless. He's absolutely useless.
He just he's just a pretty boy for the government or something like that. I don't even know what he does anymore. It's like he's back there with the mom.
He does nothing.
Meatloaf. Like, what's he doing back there? I don't even know. I don't even know what he's doing back there. Justin, Meatloaf.
Yeah, he does absolutely nothing. He's so useless.
He goes to
I think
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think the only reason he even got voted in is because all the women in this country are stupid, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's so cute. Let's vote for Justin. He's awesome."
Voted like it's the prom king and queen, huh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Pabst is a good chaser, so you can do that with whiskey too. So yeah, drinking it with an imperial stout from behind. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, why not?
Different type of boatware maker. I always bring ridiculous money when I visit. Yeah, Bounty, come on up to Canada.
Yeah.
Plus, gonna get snowbirds in Arizona. I'll stack up before they go. I bet they do with the prices in Canada. I'd be stocking up too.
We have to.
Which is something I found out a few years back. So we went to Dallas, and I was like, I want to get beer, but like, how do I get this beer back? Do I send it to FedEx? I got a UPS store or whatever. Went online and found out online in the States, you can actually transport beer back on the plane. Anything under like, I think it's like 25% ABV, you just put in your checked luggage.
Perfect.
So I'm like, well, that's cheaper than actually, because if you're flying, and we were flying Delta at the time, and we got like 2 free bags. But you can fly. People fly Southwest, so you get 2 free bags. You can literally take an extra bag, get the beer you want, just wrap it up, secure it, and then take it back. And it's cheaper than sending it back FedEx or UPS or the postal office, which is great. So
yeah, for sure.
So I like loaded up and came back with beer. My concern was, well, he's whole. We'll see what happens when I get back. And they were all good. I mean, because it's like you worry about pressure, if a can explodes, I put everything in individual bags and stuff like that in case something happens, and no issues out whatsoever now.
No, it's actually pretty rare that a can will explode in flight.
Yeah.
I know. But I mean, I know if I'm shipping stuff, I always, put it in like a Ziploc bag and just in case something happens. But yeah, I was doing some research on that, and it's very rare that a can of beer will explode even, at 40,000 feet with the reduced pressure.
Yeah. Now you got to worry about those people that are handling the bags to make sure there's no shadiness going on. So this guy has all these beers in here. They won't miss one,
Yeah. And so if they took 1 or 2 beers out of my whatever I have, I probably wouldn't even notice, to be honest.
Consider it a handling fee.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fine. Hey, cheers. As long as the rest of my bag is fine, I'm good with that.
Well, yeah, you can get better prices from what I understand, like on some of the European beers and the American beers. So
yeah, some of the European beers aren't. They're not. I wouldn't say they're expensive. They're pretty competitively priced as far as our local kind of stuff. I've never paid. I don't think I've ever paid an outrageous price for a European beer coming from across the ocean. So that's a good thing, I guess. So that's pretty decent.
I think Bourbon wanted to make sure he had the right one. I just subbed. Yes, you did get the right one. So I put in the comments, and he said, yes, I got the right one. Super. 27-14 with 2 years left to play.
It's like, go Washington. Let's go.
Yeah, Molson Coors
now. Yeah.
Arms crossed. Hooray. Hooray for beer. What was that? Red Stripe, right? Yeah. Yeah. So I put your channel. I put Dave's channel out there too. Yeah, it's about right. 30 pack for $17.22 where I live in Arizona. Yeah, you should be. I mean,
killing me.
Yeah, for a case, a 30 pack. Well, that's 30. That's 6 extra. Yeah, that'd be about right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, it's like you hear some of the guys. I don't know if you hear them as much, some of your stuff from Brian on them, but here, like people will drink like Genesee ale, like Genesee cream ale. People seem to like, and
I don't
some of their Bach beers. And you get like a 12 pack for $10.99. That place.
No kidding. Yeah. I actually don't mind Genesee when I go over to Buffalo to go watch a hockey game.
Yeah,
I usually have a couple of Genesees, and it's not a bad beer.
So when you come over to the States, when you go back, do they check your car for like stuff or anything? Or
I have, I don't go over a whole lot. My wife goes over a whole lot more than I do. She goes over probably once a month just to do some shopping and stuff like that. I think she's only ever been searched once.
Yeah.
And I've only been searched once in God. I can't even remember how many years I've been going over, but I don't go over as often as she does. But I've only been searched once.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering if it's worth it trying to bring it back in or how they treat that. Because I thought someone told me you can have a certain limit of beers when you come back, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and you know what? Most of the time, like you just like I'm always 100% honest with them. Like if I know I'm over what I'm supposed to have, I still tell them what I have. I'm like, yeah, I got a case of beer and I picked up a 40 Jim Beam or something. And half the time they're just like, yeah, go. They don't care.
Yeah.
And you will get the occasional guy that's like, oh, that's too much. You need to pull in and pay tax on that. Oh, okay. I'll go in and pay my $7 worth of freaking tax on my bottle of Jim Beam, or whatever the hell I happen to be buying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how they do that there. I was actually, when I went to Canada, Ontario before, I was kind of a little bot. Like I went in and I had, you go through the border and do your passport. And like, okay, you're good to go. Well, I'm like,
yep.
They didn't stamp it. I'm like, and I'm supposed to get it. It was the first time I used the passport. I'm like,
oh, okay.
I want a Canadian stamp in my book, and they didn't stamp it. And I'm like, I was kind of like, I can't believe I didn't get stamped, right? And I'm thinking, maybe don't do that. Maybe just show it. Well, then we went to like Dominican Republic. They stamped it there.
Sure, they did.
Stamp it in Jamaica, and they stamp it in like no, I don't have the Canada stamp. I wanted the Canada. I wanted the Canadian. Like,
I think if you're an American coming into Canada, because they don't care, because it's you're like our next door neighbor. You're like,
right.
We're friends. Just come on. Hey, come on in, right? But next time you go over, if you ask them to stamp it, I think they will.
Okay.
But you actually have to physically ask them to stamp it because it's not a normal practice.
Okay, it's interesting. Yeah. The other place they stamped it, I was like, I didn't know why they didn't stamp it when I went to Canada.
Yeah, so. When you're there, just like, hey man, can I trouble you to stamp this really quick?
Yeah. And
half the time they just kind of look at you like, really, dude? Like, okay, I'll stamp it. Like you're freaking barber. Literally, you're driving across. It's across this from where I live. It's like down the street and around the corner. I'm in Niagara Falls, New York, right?
Yeah.
So it's like half the time they don't even bother doing it. That's for sure.
It's like, can you stamp it? And can I have a liter of beer, please? Like Officer Farber.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, for sure.
Coors Light case, $19.99.
You know what? I did see that sitting there, and I'm assuming that's your 355 mil. Now, is that a 24 case or a 30? Because I'm going to give you the price for both.
That's a 24, I'm sure. Anytime we say case in the States, it's 24. Yeah, okay. Unless you say 30 pack like earlier.
So a case of 24 up here is $47.95.
Is that an American equivalent?
No, that's Canadian 47.
That's Canadian. Okay.
$35-ish. I didn't convert it. I'm just
still too much.
Oh, I know. Like I said, we get just right up the poop chute when it comes to beers up here. We really do. But
you guys get bent over on that.
We do really bad. But like I said, when I was down in Atlanta last year and then Chicago this year, we're walking through the breweries, walking through a couple different bottle shops, and I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? And I just want to grab everything, but I can only bring so much back. I don't want to scoop up just armfuls of beer and just throw it. Like I said, thankfully this year I had my man Blue Ice with me.
Yeah.
And literally we walked in this one bottle shop and I was right behind him and he literally would walk through and he'd pick up a beer and go, here you go. All right. No, you need this one. Here, try this one and try this one. Like he was just handing me beers. It's like, and Blue Ice and I have a very similar palate. So when he hands me a beer, I know it's going to be a gold beer. And every single one that I've tried that he handed me was just been absolutely off the charts. Fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. Really, really good.
Yeah, Blue's a good guy. Another great channel for y'all watching. Blue Ice, BLUU_ice. Yeah.
Yeah. He hasn't put out a lot lately, but he's a busy guy. I mean, he works his ass off all the time. He's a hardworking guy. So
it's tough if you're not 100%. Like that's one thing from the conference I went to, and they're like, if you're not 100% creator, it's tough. Like they tell people, like, don't try to compare yourself to other people doing 100% of the time because you can't. Like if you're working a regular job, day job, and you're trying to get into it, you can't really look at the numbers other people are putting up that are 100% into it because there's so much that happens. So yeah,
right, for sure. And for guys like us, honestly, like our market is so small, like because we're a very niche market, being beer reviewers. I mean, we're not going to hit 3 million subscribers, or like unless we start playing Minecraft and drinking beer at the same time. Maybe we can go like, oh yeah, so I'm okay. So today on Minecraft, I'm going to be building this elaborate. The castle of Notre Dame. But hey, you know what? I'm going to enjoy this sauerkraut and mustard beer. Let me tell you what I think about it while I'm building this.
Yeah,
maybe we might get something.
Yeah, I mean, because I look at some of the stuff, I look at some of the beer channels that have been around and doing stuff, and I think you look at I think it's Craft Beer Channel. I think they're, I want to say maybe 60, 70,000 maybe. And they're like one of the biggest ones out there, right?
Sure.
You look at someone like Simon over in the UK. Simon's, I think, somewhere in the 50 or 60 range.
Which that's huge for our market. That is huge.
Yeah. Huge. Greg's beer reviews, I think he's around 40 something, I believe. But yeah, it's kind of like to grow it. It's like I was telling, I think Mal a couple weeks ago, looking at some of the stuff I was looking at, I was watching some of the videos, and they were like, if you're over 1,000 people, you're pretty much in the top 10 percentile of YouTubers. Like 90% of YouTubers don't get to 1,000 people.
For sure.
Which I never thought about. Like, I just never thought about that number being that out there, having a couple channels over.
No, well, I mean, and you got to think of
so much dedication and stuff to hit. Plus,
for sure.
No, you're.
I was going to say, like I said, we're such a niche market, and to be able to get your numbers up that high, I mean, you got to have a freaking spectacular channel, right?
Yeah. It's got to be something to grab. So it's kind of like I feel like you can break through and stuff. It's just
sure
you got to look at the market you're actually in, and if it's obviously it's kind of like the R movies versus the PG-13 or the cartoon for kids stuff, right? Like if you're coming out with a movie in Hollywood, your R isn't going to pull in as many people as those kid movies do. Like you're not going to come out with
for sure. Yep.
The new Exorcist movie and get them with people like Toy Story 3 coming out or something like that. Toy Story is going to have that thing because all the audiences can go into it for different reasons versus your audience being more limited. And that's how you have to look at how you're actually doing a lot of this stuff, and then find your position in what you can actually do. So it's all perspective. It's keeping it all in perspective, whether it's this or anything you're specializing in as a niche where it's beer or alcohol or even like some of the food type. It's kind of like, if it's not something everybody can kind of get into, you're going to have a harder time. So it's just got to be, and being alcohol, just like if you were doing a channel on vaping or something where there's going to be a restriction on it because you have to be a certain age to get into it, it's going to be a little tougher to actually do that. Versus if I was just doing a barbecue channel and everybody loves barbecue, you have a higher opportunity in doing that. So
right, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
But at the same point, go ahead.
I'm going to be back in like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Maybe a minute. So say something really whimsical while I'm gone, and I'll have to come back and watch it later.
Thanks. I'll try. I'll read the comments first, though. Let's see what we got in the comments here. Justin, I really like him, but I question my sexuality. That's funny, Jody. It's okay if you have a man crush on Justin Trudeau. Man, I had a truck and backseat full of brew when we came back over. Nemo said, when you go to Total Wine, here you'll see Canadian stuff in the RVs full of liquor. Yeah, I mean, with the cost difference of getting it here versus getting it there, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you load up and take stuff back? And even if you got to declare it, you're still getting a better price overall, I'm thinking, than what they would do if they actually pay for it there. Canadians can drink, they can party. What was that old movie back in the day? It was American and Canada, and it was kind of like it was a comedy farce, like we were going to war with them over beer. What was that movie between them? The American Canadian movie had Rick Moranis. I think it had like the two the brothers.
Strange Brew.
Strange Brew and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
We were talking about the Canadians, how they could drink apart. It's like, yeah, it's like you were going. Nemo has said how when the Canadians came down where he's at, there's only RVs full of liquor to take back, and he was saying how they can actually party. It was like, yeah, I mean, it's funny. I'm like, you would take it back with that difference there, but it made me think of Strange Brew because of the Americans, and they were at the hockey game. And they got this whole big thing right when they were getting all worked up and stuff. So yeah, great classic movie from the '80s, by the way. So
for sure,
Brew. Yeah,
for sure it is.
Who was the Smothers Brothers, right?
No, the Mackenzie brothers.
Mackenzie brothers. Smothers Brothers were different brothers. The Mackenzie brothers.
The Smothers brothers were Canadian as well.
They were Canadian as well. Yeah. Of course, back in the day, I grew up watching some of the SCTV, which is like the Canadian version of SNL, which is some funny stuff. And you like John Candy and all of them on there too was really good.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Did some great comedy back then, for sure.
What's up, Arrow? Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
He's part of the gaming community I do.
Oh, is it? Okay, super.
Yeah, I do the gaming channel. He games with us sometimes on Call of Duty and stuff. So
nice.
I'll be playing Modern Warfare 3 tomorrow night for sure. I'll be streaming that.
You know what? Yeah. I used to play a lot of Modern Warfare years ago. Mm-hmm. Like I was playing like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. I played World at War. And honestly, I'm not the best video game player. Let me put that out there right now. I do okay. And then for some reason, I kind of fell off of it. And then I fell in love with a game called Rocket League. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I am familiar with Rocket League, yeah.
Okay, I played Rocket League like solid for years. I'm just an average player. I'm not spectacular at it. I mean, I'm 52 years old. Like my reflexes aren't as good as they used to be. And then I stopped playing that I just recently started getting back into it again and realized how much you need to continually play. It's like it's a skill. It really is. Yeah. You got to continue to play because I'm, playing some matches now. I've only been playing back again maybe about another 3 weeks or a month now, and I'm just sitting and I'm getting destroyed. Like I'm like, oh my, like my timing is off for getting up and hitting the ball and trying to do a reset, and it's awful. Like if you don't, it's like any other skill. If you don't use
a skill, if you don't use it, you start to lose it. Yeah, and I mean these kids nowadays. I mean, that's one thing in the era the kids are in now. It's kind of crazy. Like you can go to college for brewing beer. You get stuff for that now, and you can go to school and get scholarships for playing video games. So I'm like, I love the generation I grew up in, but if I'd have been like 20 more years later, I'd have been thriving like crazy in this generation.
Right?
Yeah. Like, we were kids playing video games. Parents were like, that's not going to get you anywhere. Nowadays, you can't say that to kids. And like you find out like some of these Air Force recruits they bring in are like, they look for the gamers because of the hand-eye dexterity of playing the video games.
Sure.
Yeah. They fly the recon and stuff for the what's it called, drones and everything. So,
for the UAVs and stuff. Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, like you said, when we were kids, we were we our whatever Atari 2600 or ColecoVision or whatever the hell it was, right? The one joystick and one button,
right?
And and we'd be playing the hell of that. Like, oh, why are you wasting your time playing that? That'll never, but we loved it, not knowing that 30 or 40 years later. Like these kids are making millions of dollars winning a Fortnite tournament, which I really suck at, by the way. I really suck at Fortnite. I enjoy playing it but I try and play Fortnite like Call of Duty, like go out, sneak around, kill. I'm no good at building the crap.
Yeah, well now you don't have to build on Fortnite. I haven't played it in a while, but I was told like the new versions you don't have to build anymore. So they made it more like regular battle royale, but I haven't went back to it.
Well, they do have a mode that's a no build mode where nobody's allowed to build, right? So it's more Call of Duty-ish that way.
Okay.
But I always play just the regular one.
Yeah.
And get my ass handed to me by some 12-year-old kid from,
I think the last time I played Fortnite, it was like I ended up winning. I won the match, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Retire at this point because I already won. I got the win, so I was out. So I went back to Call of Duty.
Well, I always play with my youngest boy. Like we play the duos, which is the team of two. Mm-hmm. He's 17, so obviously he can play much better than I do.
Yeah.
And so we'll get through a game. I'm like, if we get like say top 5, say I'm like, I got 3 kills. Woo! And he's like, yeah, Dad. He goes, I had 17. He hard carries me all the time through that game, all the time because I'm terrible. I just enjoy playing it. It's fun. I don't play it a lot, but it's like once or twice a week I'll play it.
No, when I was at VidCon, they had one of the games that were down there. It's like the Zip Lines game, which is a game you can actually play on Fortnite. I had never seen it before, and it was like I played it for a little bit, just kind of see, and I was just like all over the place. And it was funny because at one point you had to play it. They had like the keyboard and the mouse, which I haven't had keyboard and mouse since the '90s, like going back to some of the old Alien versus Predator type games. Or you could do a controller.
Right.
Well, all the controllers would go quickly, so people were like the keyboard and mouse. So I was like, I'm not going to go in there, be all screwed up and get my ass kicked by an 8-year-old. I'm not doing that. I'll wait for the controller, right?
Yeah.
So I got the controller, but then trying to figure it all out. So it's just like so much jumping around and these zip lines. Like, just give me Call of Duty. I just want to go out there, give me my gun. I'm going to run out there and just shoot somebody, and I'm good to go. So
yeah, exactly. Nice and simple. Nice and
simple. Yeah,
Right?
this is it's like when they changed Madden up. Remember back in the day when Madden came out, it was so much easier trying to do stuff. And then they got into, okay, now you can call line audibles. Now you got the quarterback audible. Now you can shift to D. Now you can shift to linebacker. Now you can shift to safety. It's just like, it's just too much going on. I know you're trying to give that feel to it, but you got to do all this like in less than 4 seconds before the guy calls Hut again on the other side of the ball against you. It's like, I can't, I'm still trying to position people. He's already snapping the ball. It's just got to be too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that just goes back to the hand-eye coordination, right? Like, you can't do it. You know, at our age, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, for sure.
$17.99 with get it regularly for $17.24. Wait a minute, 24. You get it $17.99. Oh, okay. 24 was the case.
Right.
You get $17.99 a month with the grocery card for the Coors Light. Gotcha.
You get a discount on beer with a card? God, I gotta move down there.
If we get discount on beer, or you can get a discount on gas at some places, which what the gas prices are, which is nice. They give you points on stuff. Like one of my stores, I usually go to the grocery shopping for what we do because I usually cook and everything. And I went to the store a few weeks ago, and this old lady was there. She was showing me. She's like, "Did you do your rewards thing on your digital card?" And I'm like, "The rewards thing? I didn't even know about it." She showed me, like, basically, because I have points added up, I got like ground beef for free or bread for free and all the stuff that they would give you for part of your points or whatever. So it was kind of nice. So yeah, we get rewards and that kind of stuff. So
that's crazy.
No, that's America. That's what that is.
I know, right? I'm just trying to convert some gas here. 3.9 times. What is gas up here right now? 5.
I don't even gas. I haven't played gas in the car for a week.
So what are you guys paying for a gallon? What are you guys paying for a gallon of gas?
I think last time I went, I think it was like $3.59 or $3.69.
I'm gonna throw up. I just did the math conversion. I'm just going by the price from like 2 days ago ish.
Yeah.
I pay $6.04 for a gallon of gas.
That's like California prices. It depends on what part of the country you're in the States, but California and out west, they pay more than we do in the East. I think
sure. Yeah, same up here. It depends on where you are.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I'm fully remote, so I work all from home. My wife is home like 3 or 4 days a week. So it's like, we don't have to worry about putting gas out there in the car and stuff like that. I go to gas station once a month, maybe, which is nice, especially with gas prices being up and stuff. And then some spots around here is so convenient that we just Uber on some stuff even. So,
right.
Usually if we're going somewhere, we're going to be drinking or something, then we'll Uber. But
yeah, for sure. What's in there?
New wave of things like Untapped and having a phone in your pocket killed a lot of the beer reviews. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it killed a lot of the beer reviews, so to speak, because I mean, people will put stuff on Untapped, but like I use Untapped for my own personal thing, and I have friends that I connect with that follow me, and we connect and we kind of do stuff. And even when I do the beer videos, and I put my personal rating up, that's the scores I'm putting on Untapped and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I think for me, my beer reviews, the way I do them, because I'm doing the channel. So I just do stuff on the video. There's still some people that do other stuff, whether it's here or Beer Advocate, which is actually owned by Untapped now, or I don't know if Rate Beer still exists or not. I haven't looked at that for years. You still get the beer reviews out there, just in different type of things. Some people have stuff online that they do. Some of the stuff you see on Twitter and things like that, or different blogs and stuff. But it may have just shifted where you find the reviews or you see the reviews. But I think people are still doing them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I think I use Untapped all the time as well, obviously. I don't know if I agree with that 100%. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to use Untapped, and I'm still going to do my beer reviews. I mean, it's because anybody who's ever used Untapped knows that, once you start using Untapped, especially for the first month or two, the only thing you're like, oh, I got a new badge. Oh, great. Oh, what do I need? Oh, I only need 2 more beers from Poland. Oh my God, I gotta go and get 2 more Polish beers at the local liquor store. And it's like, oh my God, look, I got Land of the Free. I just checked in 5 beers from America. I got to go check in 5 more so I can get level 2. And that's what, I don't know what anybody else, but that's what I was like when I first started on the Untapped app. I was just going crazy. Like I was checking, oh, how many do I need for, how many beers do I need to have at my local dive bar? Because that's a badge. And how many, today's, Canadian Beer Day. I got to go out and buy a Canadian beer so I can, check that in so I can get that badge that means absolutely freaking nothing to anything. Right? And it's true. Like I have I don't even know how many badges I have, 700, 800, 900, 1,000 badges on there that are totally useless. But when you get that badge, you're like, yeah, I got the badge. Yeah. It's the stupidest app, but I mean, I love it. And I've been addicted to it for, the past however many years I've been using it.
I just feel like I track it. I don't even know how many badges I got on there. I mean, the badge thing is fine. I never really look as much into them, but it's kind of like it's easier doing the Untapped than it's like taking the books. I have a book here. I can write stuff in a journal. It's like it's easier to type it on the phone, than to write in a journal. So in that regard, that's why I like to keep track of all and stuff there and everything. But occasionally I see something pop up and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Or it's like, your bar finder level 50. I'm like, damn, how many bars have I been to? Funny thing, I look at Untapped now because now I think I've checked in like probably over 71 or 7,200 beers over the period of time, and I've only been doing it since like 2015, right? And it's always about what you what you don't have versus what you. It's just like in a way that we look at things, and I start thinking, where would I be at if I had all my beers that I checked in all my life? Because I'm like all the beers I didn't check in. And it's like, do you add them in now? But it's like, you're not drinking them now. So is that cheating with it? So it's kind of like, I think back and I'm like, I got to be in Wilt Chamberlain 10,000 plus numbers at this point.
For sure.
And overall. So I just haven't, we didn't have Untapped back in the 80s and 90s and stuff. So that was always something good. Oh, snap. Just when we thought we might be over, look who's in the house.
Oh, there she is.
What's happening? How was get all work all settled?
As far as it can be,
Yeah. Well, welcome.
There she is. The secret love of my life has finally showed up.
She made it in for last call.
It's the best I could do today. Today was a crazy one.
Yeah. Did you end up having to cover and everything? You got out of there pretty quickly then.
I covered most of it and then handed off to a server to finish the evening because it slowed down enough. So
okay.
Nice.
Yeah. And I will be forever grateful to that server because they are a wonderful human being. They are a wonderful human being. So yeah.
So it's definitely great to have you here. So so it's kind of like, And no, we've been gabbing. We had Dave in earlier from Beer in Front. He was on for a bit.
I'm so sad I missed him. I would have loved to chat with him.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit. He just did a podcast with DT Space on Great American Beer Fest because he had went there. So if you haven't checked out the latest podcast that came out earlier this week, check it out. But they kind of got in that stuff. But it was fun. We had some pretty fun conversations talking about some different things. And of course, just kind of going through stuff here through the chat and everything.
Like, and I gotta tell you, Mallory, because I came on at the very beginning. Because I knew Rod J didn't have a co-host, so I had to do this whole thing, and I don't do nearly as good of a job, and I certainly don't look nearly as good as you do doing it. So I'm glad you finally showed up.
Emerson had a comment. He's like, "Are Mal and Todd on writer's strike right now?" Earlier, so that's like, they tried to writer's strike, and I told them I didn't need them, so I went ahead and hired Shane and David, and I brought them up. I said no. They had to get caught up on some stuff there. So yeah.
All right, looks like JT's
All right,
heading out. Hey, JT,
Cheers,
nice
JT.
talking to you again, brother. See ya.
You can break through, but you have to be solidly consistent and be entertaining. Yeah. So in going to VidCon, one of the overwhelming things were about the consistency and about having the schedule and trying to do that kind of stuff. But then it was like there were things in there as well too. Like some of these people that had like hundreds of thousands of followers and stuff like that and subscribers, they had done videos like in a month or two either because they take a break. They did one of the part of the key things was talking about how you got to take a break. You can't be too wrapped up into it because it can become too all consuming for you. So you got to find that balance. And like one of the guys on there is a channel called Angry Reactions. He's funny as hell too. In person, I started following his channel, but he does stuff on TikTok and he does stuff on YouTube. It's just like you have to be able to step away at points. And so one of the things like in the beer thing is we would always schedule out ahead. Like, so we do reviews, but I don't always put the reviews up when I'm actually doing it. So it's funny when I'll put reviews up and people are like, did I just see you Thursday and you had a beard? And it'll be like when I don't have a beard. Like these aren't all done real time. I build a catalog of stuff so when I take a break, I can just release other things on those things. So that kind of stuff plays into it as well. But if you can get a consistent schedule, and usually, and if you're not doing it consistent, make sure your viewers know you're not consistent. Like I said, I think on one of the community posts last week, I think, that I was changing some stuff up. So I was going to be taking a kind of a little bit of a break on the videos because I'm updating some other stuff for the channel just so people were aware. But then usually I'll try to release videos around 5 or 6 or whatever each night that I can. And we do the live stream on Thursday. Everybody knows 8 o'clock live stream. You know, be consistent to actually be there. And then the entertaining thing, if you're on YouTube, I mean, you should be entertaining. If you're not entertaining, you're not going to have the viewers actually connect and watch. That should be kind of just the common sense portion of it, though. But, you know, you find things and you stay consistent on them. You bring stuff. And like I like to ask, you know, as for everybody watching, the viewers, and what do you want to see? What kind of stuff do you like? What am I not covering? You know, I put a thing out there in the community post. What things do you want to know about beer that we're not maybe talking about yet? And, you know, you have to be involved because people forget at a point, it's social media. It isn't like just throw a video up and people show up for it.
Right.
You got to be engaged. You got to be present. Like you can be there, but are you present? You have to be present with it as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the one thing I used to have on my channel. I used to have a consistent schedule. And because of the vast amount of beers I still have in my fridge, I've just been kind of like, I've been trying to like just pump out the videos because I want to get these reviews done. And I think I said on one of my videos like 6 months ago that I was going to do something completely different and slow down my channel, do like 1 or 2 a week. And I'm not. I'm still doing all this stuff and working on these big projects. Speaking of big projects, I'm going to throw a little shout out here, Rod J. Sorry. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, I have the premiere of my All By Myself series. Part 1 starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. Part 2 is at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be doing a live. If you guys don't know what this is a little series I came up with last year called All By Myself. It is a spoof on the show Alone, if you guys are familiar with that. Last year, it was just me kind of doing a little funny little thing. This year, I got 7 beer reviewers involved in this project, plus 2 of my friends. So there's actually 9 different people involved. So it's going to actually play out more like the show Alone. So 6 p.m. Eastern on my channel, Shane's Craft Beer Review. Check it out. It's going to be awesome. It's freaking hilarious because I'm the only one that's actually seen all the videos. It is brilliant. I have famous beer reviewers like Brian the Beer Snob, Alan from One Flight Down, Drew from Beer for Breakfast, Fact for Sex, myself, of course, Wayne from Bucks County Beer Reviews, Dave from Dave's TV. I've got all these guys, and they just nailed all their videos out of the park. And I put them all together, and I hope I hope everybody enjoys it as much as I've enjoyed doing it, because it took me bloody forever to put this video together. So yeah, check that out tomorrow night at 6 p.m. for the live premiere.
Yeah, so definitely check that out for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like some of the stuff, like I've probably watched the entire video probably 15 times. Just to make sure that it's the way I want it to look. And every time I go past it, I'm like, oh God, I need to go back and do this. So I could literally do the whole the whole thing like word for word, I think, out of everybody. And it's some of the stuff that people came up with is just brilliantly funny. You're going to be busting your gut watching this. It's so funny.
I know you can't do it because of copyright, probably, but it'd be funny if you had in the background all by myself playing, because that'd be hilarious.
Well, it's basically the same show. I tried to get the same feel, like the same kind of sound effects and the same kind of mood setting that the actual show alone has. And you've got 9 guys, most of them beer reviewers, with their own little take on how they would survive out in the wilderness with no beer.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's cute, it's really funny, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So I hope anybody who's watching right now comes and checks that out tomorrow night, because it's going to be fun. I'm going to be in the chat to laugh along with you. So yeah, it's going to be great. So check that out if you can.
Yeah, bourbon, definitely get up to Canada there, and
for
54
sure.
Skills in drinking. I get it. Now I'm still about the video game now, but it's like it's funny. You should drink and then play the video game, bourbon. You'll love that, Jody.
What's wrong with video games? It's
nothing. Jody's just Jody's Jody. He's like,
you just have to find the one that you like. And by the way, do not, under any circumstances, if you're a mobile game player, do not download the game Monopoly Go, because it will suck the living life right out of you. I know, because that's what I've been doing for the past 3 months. It is awful. It is frustrating. And I want to take my phone and throw it in the goddamn Niagara Falls. But I can't, because it's so addicting, and I would cry if I couldn't play. So do not, under any circumstances, download Monopoly Go.
That's funny.
I bet you could play it drunk, though.
Probably.
You can play it drunk, because it's not actually like Monopoly. Like, you don't actually have to think too much. It's kind of a automatic kind of game, and it's dumb. It's the dumbest game I've ever. It's even worse than Minecraft, and I think Minecraft is the dumbest game I've ever played in my entire life. But it's worse, and it just sucks the time and life right out of you. Which reminds me, as soon as I'm done on this live stream, I'm going to go play it and check and make sure I got all my stuff in order.
Well, I'll be playing. I got the early open beta for Modern Warfare 3, so I'll be playing that this weekend on my gaming channel. So
that'll be sweet.
It's funny. I got it through my cable company. They're like, our cable company here is a ready commercial. Say, hey, if you can go into your awards program and you get open beta access. I was like, really? Because I didn't usually have to pre-order the game to get that.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, shit. Okay, well, went in and got set up, and I told my friends that usually play with me, and they're like, yeah, our cable companies are shit. We don't get that up there. I'm like, oh, that sucks. So I'll see you guys when I'm back from playing it then, because I'll be playing that all weekend. And my one friend, he has PlayStation, so he gets to play it on Sunday. So there's like an early access Friday and Saturday, which we got, and then open Sunday through Tuesday for PlayStation. And then next weekend, Xbox and PC get to play it. So it's kind of like, yeah, this weekend's all PlayStation playing it, which is, you got PlayStation, I don't have to tell you. Should have been with the party. But hey, we're gonna be rolling with it this weekend. So yeah,
that's right.
So my boy Trez in the comments, yeah, he's Xbox now. He should have stayed PlayStation, son.
You tell him.
For sure.
Although
I'm gonna grab another beer, guys. I'll be right back.
All right. Although I have thought about getting Xbox just for Starfield, but I don't know. I haven't made that full decision yet. All of our parents, those games would rot your brains. Not now, kids ain't made. Yeah. It's like I said, 20 years later. They're making beer in college, and kids are getting scholarships on video games. I would have thrived in this area that we're in right now. The rules have changed. I did Paul earlier. Fudging lighters.
Leaders. That's not lighters. That's leaders. Complaining about the leaders.
I thought leaders was RE.
Well, lighters is with the GH.
It's all right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Who knows? Jody's been drinking bourbon. I'm just trying to figure it out. I thought it might have been a typo. My bad.
All right, so I'm gonna crack open crack open a dildo.
That makes sense.
Bad shit. It is bad. A what? A dildo?
I'm not surprised.
I'm gonna put a dildo in my mouth.
We'll kill it. Oh wait, I actually have to review this shit. You actually don't have to review. You can just give it your rating. You don't have to type anything on that.
Well, it's funny because I sent down. I didn't even know about this brewery. The brewery is actually called Dildo.
Wow.
You see that? It's actually it's a city in Newfoundland called Dildo, Newfoundland.
Oh my god.
And Brian the Beer Snob actually got a hold of me, I don't know, a couple months ago and said, hey, can you get any dildo beers in your area? And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And I said to my wife, I'm like, I don't understand this message Brian just sent me. He's asking for a dildo beer.
You should have replied back, no, you're screwed.
Well, she knew what she knew what it was, and I didn't even know what the hell it was. She's like, oh, she goes, isn't dildo in
Brian had some weird kinks, apparently.
Yeah. So Brian, I sent down Brian a bunch of dildo beers, and he did a freaking hilarious video with Gabriel.
You just sent him a bunch of dildos. I could have clipped that. I sent Brian a bunch of dildos. That'd have been just perfect right there.
Go
clip that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, go check out his channel. The first video he did with Gabriel from Starving Actor Food Reviews is freaking hilarious. And it's just all kind of like wordplay on, oh, I'm going to put a dildo in my mouth. And Gabriel's like, what the hell are you talking about, Brian? Why are you putting a dildo in your mouth? You know, kind of thing. But yeah, that's actually what it is. Yeah, it was freaking brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Oh my God, the hop smell in this is freaking amazing.
It's a hopping dildo?
It just smells like just beautiful, beautiful hops. That's what it smells like.
There are worse things.
Are there?
See, now this is
there are worse things for a dildo to smell like. Yes,
that's true.
Thank you for asking.
And you know what the sad part is Rod J and I, before you came on, Mallory, Rod J and I were talking about, you know, sometimes you have your review beers and you crack them open, which is exactly what this is. This is a review beer that I'm just cracking open because I feel like having a beer. And I'm really upset now because this is freaking spectacular. This is what's this one called? This is the 1933 IPA. Is what it's called from the Dildo Brewing Company.
You have to go back and get more dildos for yourself.
Yeah,
I had to special order them because you can't get them here yet. You can because
special order your dildos. Okay, that's fine.
I will special order my dildos, and hopefully they come in a discreet, nondescript package, so nobody knows what I've ordered.
Dildos for pickup.
Yeah. Now I do know that you can actually online. You can actually buy like a flat, like an empty cardboard box, like a flat box. That says, you know, dildos and stuff on the side of it, like, hey, extra large dildo for your pleasure, blah, blah. And what you're supposed to do is just kind of like, you know, make it into a box and put it on your neighbor's door, like on the doorstep.
Extra large for your pleasure.
Yeah. And you just stick it on your neighbor's doorstep. So when, you know, people are walking by, they're like, oh my God, look at that guy's got a big box of dildos on his front step. So, you know, not that I would ever do that, but it's a great idea. I'm just saying.
You're you're too nice to do that.
I know, right? Like you know me, Mallory. I would never do that, but it's damn funny.
Hi, Trez.
Trez said, "Cheers to Mal."
No, Trez is there.
Thing that you are consistent with. Yeah.
It's not a box of dildos, is it?
No, I don't. Well, I don't know. With Jody, I don't know. It could be. It could be. You are entertaining, Jody. You are my friend. But there's only 4 watching.
I gotta put
it
that
happens.
On my list
I actually get people that follow on the replays, like when they're at work or something the next day. I see like views go up. They're probably listening because I put it on the podcast as well, so people will tune in during the podcast and stuff.
Yeah, it's too bad that Shane made this not safe for work now.
Right?
It's a city in Newfoundland in Canada. It's called Dildo. It's the Dildo Brewing Company from Dildo, Newfoundland. How many times can I say the word dildo?
Well, you're really plugging it. You're really plugging it right now.
You know, they do. I've only had
it. Oh, that was rough. That's what she said.
I'm telling you, Rod J, seriously, go and watch Brian's video on the first one he did with Gabriel. Because it's just all stuff like that. Just like, oh, you plugged that really good. Like just all innuendos throughout the whole video. It's hilarious. It's absolutely great.
Knowing his editing skills, I'm sure he tightened it up.
Jeez, Rod, come on.
Grace, he should have had you on there instead of freaking Gabriel, maybe. Mind you, Gabriel was awesome in that video too. He really did it up really well.
Oh man, that's funny. I'm sure you had a
Yes, Brian
handle on
could have done a
things.
good job with the dildos. We know it's fine.
Well, knowing Brian, I'm sure you had a handle on things. So.
Oh,
What's
for
up,
sure.
homie? What's going on, EV? Cheers. I think the under construction now avatar you got there too, because he's not doing the updates to his channel.
Oh, okay.
Collecting Beard is doing some stuff there. My silver YouTube play friend. For those of you looking to see someone that got a silver YouTube play button, check out EB's channel. He does some really good stuff.
Nice. Silver play button. I can only hope.
Yeah. And a beer, that would be like huge to get to 100,000.
Can you imagine? That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah. We're the only people on here. You can send me a link now. I understand I'm embarrassed. I'm going to keep it clean. No, you're fine. Actually, I'll probably wrap up here in a little bit just because I got to get up early.
Nah, it's fine. You don't have to.
Well, you just got here, so.
Yeah.
I tried to get Mal to do the after hours show on her channel last time. I was like, you can do the after hours show.
I can't even remember how to work StreamYard. It'll take me 20 minutes just to get it set up.
Mallory, if you want to do an after hours show, I will open it up on my channel and we'll do it.
See? There you go.
Perfect. Because I honestly, it's been 3 months since I used StreamYard, and I know it'll take me at least 20 minutes to get it going.
I'll pop it up because you know me, I always love talking to you because you're just
You'll pop it up.
like my favorite person in the entire world.
Got it.
Yeah.
See?
So we'll have a couple of beers and we'll do it.
Shane will have the after hours show, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that.
After hours on Shane's Craft Beer Review, check it out. That'll be me and Mallory rocking the stuff. I mean, I know you guys are just going to come and watch it for Mallory, not me. I get it. It's okay.
Well, Paul
just come and watch it.
Paul might be home by then, so he's PA Brew News, so he might be able to join you.
There you go. Perfect.
And then Bourbon, he says, invite me, please. He has 2 more hours, so he can actually join over there as well.
Super. Yeah. Come check out my channel, Shane's Craft Beer Review. I'll do a live with Mallory afterwards for sure. No problem.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, Trent's son took the PlayStation to school. I said, "What the hell?" I'm like, wait. See, that's a trap. You should have stuck with the PlayStation, though. Yeah.
That's it.
I can't fault you on that. I know one of our other buddies. He's big Xbox, so I know you got in Trez's ear too. You should get the Xbox. So yeah. What up, Aubrey? Cheers, my friend.
Hi, Aubrey.
Happy Thursday to you. No dildo beer in the pantry had to settle. You know what? It's kind of funny because you settled for Bud Light. Just like there's a whole thing there, but just kidding. Miller Lights.
Oh dear.
Oh, I'll leave that one alone
awesome.
there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, when I popped on, I had already opened my beer because I had a long day at work and I wanted a damn beer. So,
of course, why wouldn't you crack it open?
Ravinia Brewing Company, it's their Baldwin Porter. Actually tastes more like a stout than a porter. It's quite good. A little bit chocolatey, just from the malts. They didn't, adjuncts or anything. 6%, 25 IBUs. They used East Kent Goldings hops, which is usually reserved for like ESBs. So it has a really interesting flavor with a nice little bitterness on the end that doesn't bite your face off. And I adore this beer so much.
Nice.
So Baldwin Porter from Ravinia.
They got some great beers at Ravinia. Like I said, I picked up a few when I was down there back in July. They got some great beers down there. That John Doe gingerbread stout.
That one's craziness, right?
Oh my God, that was so good. It reminded me so much of it didn't taste like a pumpkin beer, but it had that same kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, it has that allspice vibe, but it also, I think it's like ginger snaps. They call it gingerbread stout.
Yes, ginger snaps. Yes,
snaps closed. It had a snap to it. So for me, it was a ginger snap beer. But I love that one.
They had some great beers there. I mean, it's no Hot Butcher, but it's damn close.
I gotcha. I understand.
It's damn close. God, I want to go just move into Hot Butcher.
Hot Butcher.
Dude, we have a THC beer now.
You have a THC beer now?
We have a THC beer.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'll have to come down before July and visit. Maybe in the spring or something. We'll hang out for.
You can show up unannounced anytime.
No, I would never show up unannounced. You know that.
I literally mean that. If Chew and I opened the door and you were standing there, you would be more than welcome at any time.
Oh, I 100% know that, Mallory, but I would never show up unannounced. I would say, hey, you know what, dude? Like on a Wednesday, I'd be like, hey, I'm coming down on Friday. If you're working, I'm gonna come and hang out at the friggin' brewery with you. I don't care. Right? Just to spend time with you guys, because you guys are awesome. Like my favorite people in the entire world. I swear to God, you guys are.
How long does it take you to drive down there from where you're at?
About 8 hours.
I think it could go because to drive right to Chicago where the Airbnb, I think it took me just over 9 hours of driving.
Okay.
Ish.
Well,
I mean, we stopped the night. We left the night before and grabbed a hotel.
Yeah, you stopped in like Kalamazoo or something, right?
Yes, because Kalamazoo, I'm like, I had to stay there because Kalamazoo is just fun to say. Kalamazoo! Like, how is that? Like,
Did you go to Bell's while you were there?
You should have got some good beer in Kalamazoo.
I didn't because we didn't get there until late.
Oh.
Yeah, because we tried to go in a couple of different towns before Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
And like every place was full. Like we couldn't find a freaking hotel room anywhere. And then we finally got into Kalamazoo and like, oh, we got to stay here. It's Kalamazoo. And I think the second or third place we went to in Kalamazoo had a room. I'm like, yeah, it's great. I get to stay in Kalamazoo. Just because it's fun to say. It's Kalamazoo.
I was going to say, this isn't going to sound right, but now we got Paul on the back end. It's not going to sound right. I knew when I said it, but
Paul's on the back end, bro.
Hey.
We're all good.
Paul's coming in the back end, and I'm going to sit here and suck on my dildo.
It'll be the first back end I ever came in, so it won't be the last either, sir. There you go. Hawker Shore, it sure is good for you.
Nice. Bringing in
there you go.
Beer. I like it.
I found this recently. Corbinian.
Ooh.
The nice thing was I went to a bottle shop that I like to go to that has a lot of older beer, vintage, as some people say. And I was crawling around like a dog, like I do. And this thing was on the back of some back shelves like this, squeezed in the frame, covered in dust. So I don't know exactly how old this is, but that's perfect.
It's
doesn't matter. I'm super jealous because I know I'll never see that.
No oxidation.
You never see it.
I will never see that up here. I can get the regular Hacker for Sure up here, but I will probably never see that version of it.
Hacker for Sure. For sure.
However you say it, I don't know.
Sure, Hacker for Sure.
I'm a pasty white Canadian guy. Like, what do you want out of me? I spell color with a U, for God's sakes. What do you want?
I'm actually surprised. Not once tonight has Shane referenced maple either.
I've been trying to behave because sometimes I go a little bit over the top about my maple syrup addiction.
You know what? You say you've been trying to behave. You weren't talking about maple syrup, but you talked about dildos for 15 straight minutes. Are you kidding me right now?
It's a freaking city in Newfoundland.
That is not trying to behave.
I can't help the fact that we have names like dildo and dog lick. And, it's just stupid names for some of our cities.
In Pennsylvania,
I don't name them.
And there's an area in Pennsylvania that there's 3 places, Balls and Paradise. The funny thing is the way the roads are, if you go through Intercourse, you get to Paradise. If you actually go around Intercourse, you get Blue Balls. And that is funny. So I think they knew what they were doing.
That is awesome. That is bloody awesome.
And I thought Kentucky was interested with a place called Big Bone Lick.
Big Bone Lick. There you go.
In Kentucky. Actually, Paul, when you went down to Frankfurt, you may have seen a sign for Big Bone Lick Park.
I don't know. I'm glad I would have hard turned.
No, there's a Hell, Michigan, and they have a marathon where you run across the whole town, and at the end you get a T-shirt that says "I ran through hell, and all I got was this T-shirt."
Mm-hmm.
But but it's like
So
a
one
little,
point
not a
Johnson,
marathon itself, but like a run through the city. And every once in a while in Michigan, I'll see people with that shirt, and it always makes me chuckle.
There is a city in Michigan that has a festival called the Testicle Festival.
Oh,
well, that's
and it's kind of like a rib fest, like where you have ribs, but at the Testicle Festival, it's all testicles from different animals that they cook up and you get to try. It's called the Testicle. I want to think it's like maybe Lansing, Michigan, or something. I can't remember exactly where.
That fest got
ball because when I think testicles, I think ribs.
And honestly, I've never had animal testicles ever, but I'm not opposed.
I mean, I guess you got to remove your testicles in your own mouth. That's what I heard, but I don't. That's the best connection. Other than that, I got nothing.
All new Rocky Mountain oysters there. Deep fried.
I grew up in a town called Byron, Illinois, and every fall we had the Turkey Testicle Festival. It was every year as a kid, and it was kind of like a biker rally as well. So we would have 8 blocks blocked off just for bikes to park. I mean, it was just a crazy motorcycle event in the fall. And there were like 3 different bars that were cooking up turkey testicles the entire 3-day weekend or whatever. And yeah, it was a huge thing in my town growing up. I don't think they do it anymore, but yeah, they did it for my whole childhood. I mean, I remember that up until I went to college. So,
well, there was definitely not the first time with a bunch of guys in assless chaps for goblin testicles.
Yep.
So.
Sounds like they went balls out.
They did. Now, the biggest problem, my grandfather passed away the week before the festival, and he wanted people to gather at this one bar for his gathering or whatever, and it was during the festival that we all had to gather after his funeral. And all these bikers, everyone's in there having a good time, drinking too much, eating testicles, and we're sitting there going, oh, Grandpa's dead. It was really awkward for everybody involved.
That would be kind of awkward. And then
Trez we honored his wishes. We followed the rules. We did what we had to do. It was all good.
I don't even know who you are, Trez, right now. Mountain oysters, pig nuts are the best. I mean, I like bacon. I like ham.
My thing is,
I like pork chops. I like pork, but I never thought about the pig nuts.
But if somebody served you pig nuts and didn't tell you what they were and just said, hey, Rod, and just had a little morsel of it on a fork and said, hey, Rod, check this out. And you'd probably be like, hey, you know what? This is really good.
Oh, that even more to the point.
Yeah.
If you've had hot dogs, you probably did have pig nuts at some point in time because they probably just threw everything in there, ground it up, and just said, "There you go, kids, have some fun." You know what I mean? So
it was the filler. Right, it was the filler. It was the filler.
You're probably right, Paul. 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Starksville, Mississippi.
Probably. Yes.
There we go.
I didn't know you were from Mississippi.
Big wrestling town, Starksville. Starksville, Big Daddy.
Yeah, I know you like that Dusty Rhodes earlier.
Oh, yeah, the intro, yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Reach out to me.
Turn around.
I've not played it tonight because you weren't even here. Rocky Mountain, yeah.
One that I just haven't been drinking. It's
cowballs or bull balls.
It's cowboy balls. No, it's a Periosis. It's a quadroctonic. I can't even say it's Belgian. It's a quad with coffee beans from Belgium. 10%. I've never seen this before. I know I can get 2 or 3 more bottles, but it's from 2015. It's probably pretty damn good. By the way, I know you can get some pretty crazy stuff like you want.
Yeah.
This one's from 2014. This is okay. I can't even do English, so this will be fun. De Dr. Van Dijk, and this Elle Assemble, but it is a Belgian. It's a Belgian barley wine, Superior All Malts Barley Wine from 2014, and it was very nice.
So you drank it already, then?
Oh, I drank it already, yes. And actually, I have another bottle. And up at Sabatini's, the place that I go that has a lot of crazy stuff, they have 2 more bottles up there. It's $17 a bottle. I would happily pay that every day for that. It was very nice. Very nice. So
$17. Wow, that's like $140 Canadian, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Oh, believe me, they're charging in Canadian for the fucking Anchorage Brewing Company stuff, $195 Canadian for one beer. I'm sorry, I don't know if they harvest their own unicorn sperm and put it in those beers, but go anywhere and just suck whatever you can find, because I'm not paying $95 American for a 12-ounce bottle of beer. I would love to sit down with the guy from Anchorage. I know at some point in time he'll punch me, but I deserve it. But like, I would love, like, please just the price of your beers. Please just try.
Yeah. The only beer that I'm going to pay that kind of money for is Sam Adams Utopias. And I was actually looking for one.
I wouldn't pay money for that.
Yeah, I had a chance to buy that one time, and it was like, I'm not buying that for $200 a bottle.
No, I'll buy it.
I did buy Sink the Bismarck, which was that crazy 41 or 45% beer from Brewdog. I was in England at the time, and I figured, I'm in England, I'm going to share it anyway. This is, one of those moments, and it was still only $50. So I figured, like, whatever, who cares? I'd never do it again, but I did it once. Now, Utopas, the thing is, I've never seen it under $275. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, it is. For a beer. It's a once in a lifetime experience. You're not going to buy a second one. You're going to buy it one time. You're going to review it. You're going to enjoy the hell out of it and appreciate what it is, and have a really super cool looking bottle on the back of your bar.
You're gonna hope you enjoy it, but at the same time, I hope it's like that color almost looks like an ancient like car hub brake assembly too. Like, it's got a little bit of a duality to it. When I look at it like artistically, I go, I like the bottle. Big fan of the bottle.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Maybe I get the genie in this one.
TK from A Beer a Day with TK did a Utopias recently with Anderson, and I think Anderson paid $400 for that bottle, if I'm not mistaken.
That was $400 for theirs. Yeah. And honestly, I
got a bonus he could pay off if he wants to. If he's got free money, I got.
Yeah, because he actually got nominated for a Chuggy Award for that video, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think he got a nomination for a Chuggy Award. For sure.
Yeah, slaughtering hogs.
Hey, $400, I'll chug everything.
For sure.
That was not right.
Sit down with Mal or sit down with Mal?
You mean me, or is there a different person?
I know there's an influencer beer with Val, but this is Mal.
Yeah, I'm Mal with an M. My name means bad luck, literally.
Val.
If you've ever looked up my name in a baby book, it actually literally translates to bad luck or unfortunate one.
That's not
my last name's
nailed
Payne.
it.
And my last name's Payne. I'm bad luck Payne. That is my name.
There you go. That's your biker gang.
Don't let your name fool you, Mallory. You're fucking awesome. Oh, sorry, I swore again.
It's like I hurt my knee or something there. Yeah.
I made you were complimenting Val on the way home when I was in my truck, and I was like, I said something that you definitely shouldn't say on YouTube, so I'm not going to repeat it. So, but it was like, oh my god, like really? Granddad.
Yeah, eating off the land is pretty good for sure there. But I got to jump off. I get up early. Shane, you going to set up the after hour?
Yeah, so I'm going to...
you set it up and give me the link, and I can put the link in here for people to come over.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll set that up here after I close out all these stupid beer conversions of the expensive beer that I have.
Yeah, and that'll give me time to get myself another one.
Come to America to buy another beer.
Just in case you slip away while I'm grabbing another one, Rod, I love you. I'm so sorry I was late today. I did my best.
No, you can apologize. You got
happy to see you, and I will definitely see you next week.
Is Chew there? Is Chew still at work?
Yeah, he hasn't made it home yet, or I haven't heard him come in yet.
Okay. You gotta get that ghost to bring you some beers.
You know, I heard some knocking outside, but I'm pretty sure it was the cats being stupid, so it's all good. And my phone hasn't started playing random music any.
Not since that episode. That was interesting.
Not since that episode. It hasn't happened since.
Yeah.
It was really strange, though.
Little paranormal activity on the show. I love it.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
That was really weird.
That's cool.
All right, I'm gonna grab another beer.
Right.
What part of America you just swing down to, Shane?
Oh, there's the glass. There's the glass.
Yes, yes. I have to show off my amazing J BeerVentures glass.
There you go.
What part of you swing down to, Shane?
Well, he's not swinging down now. I don't think he went to Illinois when he
no.
When
you do.
When they do what, Paul? You cut out there.
What come down to America? What parts does he get? What does he hit?
Oh, where do you go when you come down? Like he goes to New York and stuff because he's right across.
Oh, in the past year, I've been down to Chicago. I've been to I went to the Alchemist Brewery in Vermont this year, which is friggin' spectacular if you've never been there. I'm not opposed to going anywhere. If there's a brewery that's like really stand out to people, I have no problem traveling wherever.
I normally tell foreigners to stay the hell out of America. Maybe for you, I'll take an exception. But no,
you can't. There's
a lot of
because your beer is freaking cheap.
If you take the what would be the east side, and everybody goes up the west side. But if you go to the east side of like Seneca Lake and stuff, there's some cool brewing company straight through. Actually, they go straight through New York, and 14 goes right down into Pennsylvania where I'm at, and there's a couple cool brewing companies around this way too. You just take 14 almost straight down. It's pretty good. So up there, up in like Buffalo area, or whatever, you shoot down 90, then you could hit where the Great Lakes are, and then you can go straight down, and there's a lot of cool different places. Yeah. And then there, like, it goes right down into Pennsylvania where you can shoot off and hit like New Trail and different stuff like that. And it just, brewing companies around here are just popping up left and right. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah. Well, Trent, if you hang out, Shane's going to put a link here. Did you set it up yet?
Yeah, I sent you the link to your Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Because I tried to post it in the chat and it wouldn't let me for some reason. I don't know why. So I just sent the link to your Instagram.
All right, let me see.
And
what about
we'll pop that up?
Well, that's the invite link. Right? That's not the link to the show. That's the link.
Yeah, if it's the invite link, send it to me via Messenger.
Well, I'm just gonna put the invite in a private chat. So no, I just sent it on private so Mal and Paul can jump in off that link. But where's the link for the show?
All over that link.
Because once you go live on that channel, what the link will be for that channel. Let me see.
Sorry, Rod. Old people in technology sucks.
Did you say that? Wait a minute. Me and Shane are the same age. Well, I'm older than Shane, actually, so Shane should have this down.
You're wiser.
Did you set up the show, Shane? Because I can actually.
I did actually. It's sitting there. Like I said, that link that I can pull up
Shane's channel. Well, the link you sent me was to invite the panelists. So that's what I put in the private. So Mal and Paul can follow that, and then you can invite Bourbon Bounty once you're set. But the link for the actual show.
A really big show.
Let me see here.
Wouldn't they be able to see the show if they just
That's the only thing I can find that I can.
Well, Shane set it up. I got it here for after hours. So.
In the regular chat, just put a link to your channel.
I got the show link here now from Shane's channel.
Yeah, just go on. Yeah, just go on my channel, Paul, and I'll put the in. Yeah, I
got it.
You sure?
Do you have it? Just pop over to my channel, Paul. I'll put the invite link in the general chat, and you can just click on it.
So in the regular chat, there's Shane's channel
or anybody else who wants to jump on.
That's for the after hour link that I just put there.
For sure. Come over to Shane's Craft Beer Review.
Paul and Mal have the private here to go there to be on the panel. So Shane just has to go live on his channel, and then people can go there.
They will come if you come.
Sure.
So I'm going to sign off here.
Yeah, and as soon as this stream ends, I will start that.
So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Go to the link there for Shane's address that's still here. Val Kilmer, just a beer, really. Val Kilmer.
That's right. When you start it, they will come.
But we'll go ahead and end this one. Go to Shane's for the after hours. And everybody have a great weekend.
Cool. And then I will start mine as soon as this stream ends. So
all right,
we'll be good.
So now we will sign off.
Sign off, Big Daddy.